1-year suspension and $10 million fine handed to Phoenix Suns owner Robert Sarver for his conduct that violated workplace standards, including misogynistic and racist language and behavior. Silver said Sarver's conduct was indefensible, but the league considered the totality of his actions over his 18-year tenure as an owner, and that the league did not consider removing Sarver as an owner. The Cowboys very optimistic after quarterback Dak Prescott's thumb surgery, according to coach Mike McCarthy. Next hurdle for Prescott, healing over the next 7 to 10 days. With Cooper Rush starting while Prescott's out, the Cowboys should lean heavily on their number one receiver, advises ESPN's Jeff Saturday.
How about we give CeeDee Lamb some chances to win and make it easy for Cooper Rush to understand, hey, if that's going to be my one, I know we're developing Noah Brown. I understand we have Schultz, but we got our one. He needs to be more productive. Let's put him in positions to win and have some matchup issues. I think that will go a long way for Kellen Moore.
Injured Chargers receiver Keenan Allen out tomorrow night against the Chiefs.
Brought to you by Capital One Auto Navigator, where you can find a car, get pre-qualified instantly, and see your real monthly payment without impacting your credit score. Capital One, what's in your wallet? Terms and conditions apply. Find out more at CapitalOne.com/Auto Navigator.
If you
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios. That's right.
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us, AFR. Presented by Pluckers. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Muso. And Mr. Toby Tom Blake. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Oh, by the way, it's a hump day. Yep.
It's hump day.
Let's hump, everybody.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Hump, comma, everybody, period.
Hump day.
Was a
It's hump day.
command in the moment, not a command to everyone.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
With improper punctuation use, that could be misleading.
Hump day.
Just a little bit.
And possibly
It's
illegal.
hump day.
Yes.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
We'll get to the Saints injury report.
Hump day.
Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame class has been announced.
It's hump day.
We'll get to Verge Ausberry in hour 3. Talk some scheduling.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
That is, well, we got a lot. Let's go. All right, it's after further review. Thanks for being here. Paul, we can actually put that on the title for today's show. I screwed that up. LSU, Verge Ausberry is going to be with us in hour 3 today, start of hour 3. The SEC announced today that Georgia and Tennessee, their future series with Oklahoma, series that were previously scheduled that extended into the time when OU will be in the Southeastern Conference, those games must be canceled. So I reached out to Verge. That extends to LSU. LSU is a future series against Oklahoma with in 2027, 2028 that has been canceled. And LSU has already been working on future replacement non-conference opponents for those seasons. And as Verge expressed to me, it will be a Power 5 regardless of what the SEC schedule is. So the tough part about that, right, is if the SEC goes to a 9-game league schedule, then you'd be talking about a Power 5 non-conference. Well, there'd be 10 Power 5 opponents. So, but that's what LSU's committed to doing. Again, much more about that as we move throughout the show. Hope you're having a great day. SEC coaches teleconference was today, so both Brian Kelly and Mike Leach spoke to the media at the halfway point of the week as they're getting ready for their SEC opener in Baton Rouge this weekend. We also saw today, just very quickly, congratulations to the new electees of the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame. We will have one of the new electees with us 1 hour from right now. That'll be Paul Byrd. I know Paul Maneri, who's part of the class, was on with Hunt and Hill. Hanny had Wendell Davis, former LSU wide receiver, on his show. So Ronnie's working overtime, but it's a really great Hall of Fame class that's been elected. So congrats to all the electees. Elena Byrd, who was a magnificent women's basketball player from North Louisiana, who went to Duke, was part of the Duke women's Final Four teams. We mentioned Paul Byrd. Walter Davis, one of the greatest track and field athletes ever at LSU. Wendell Davis. Matt Forte, standout running back from Tulane, who had a great professional career with the Chicago Bears. Walter Imahara, who's a professional weightlifter. As we mentioned, Paul Maneri. Eli Manning would be the headliner of the class, certainly. Ron Washington, who is from Louisiana and coached the Texas Rangers, managed the Texas Rangers to 2 World Series. And then ML Woodruff, who was a longtime high school baseball coach at Parkview Baptist, also in this class. So congrats to all of the electees, and Paul Byrd will be with us here in about an hour. We'll look forward to that. So the SEC coaches teleconference was on Wednesday. Both Mike Leach, Brian Kelly, and the other 12 league coaches all took their turn, 10 minutes, talking to the assembled media of the league. Mike Leach made one previous appearance in Tiger Stadium, of course, as a head coach. Important note, because he did coach here as a Kentucky assistant under Hal Mumme back in the 90s. But as a head coach, he made his appearance here with Mississippi State 2 years ago. And needless to say, when Mike Leach was asked about the environment of Tiger Stadium, he probably didn't have too much overwhelming to say.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, they're all have their unique environment and traditions and things like that. And obviously Tiger Stadium's one of the most unique and exciting and the best. So we're definitely looking forward to playing there.
Calm down, Mike. It's only Wednesday. We wouldn't want you to get too amped up before kickoff. Of course, when Mike Leach came to Baton Rouge in 2020, it was the first game of the COVID year. LSU's capacity was less than 50%. So it was a sparse crowd in Tiger Stadium, a day game. Bo Pelini was ill-equipped to have LSU's defense prepared for what they saw, obviously, with Mike Leach's team in that air raid, and KJ Costello threw for an SEC record passing yardage in that game. So the key for LSU this week, twofold. Number one is going to be tackle and slow down the air raid. I mean, that's just a gigantic part of this for LSU. And Brian Kelly's talked about that extensively, did so on Monday, did again today about stopping the air raid. But for me, as big a part of this game is going to be for LSU, slowing down Mississippi State offensively, which, by the way, I think they'll be able to do. We've run through this a little bit already this week, but the perception of Mississippi State offensively is Oregon under Chip Kelly. They go so fast and they score 60 a game. That's not exactly it. I mean, LSU played a 28-25 game last year against these guys. It's more they are more ball control than you'd think. They just use the passing game for ball control instead of the running game. So I don't know necessarily that I'm expecting this super high-scoring game. Vegas has the total in the low 50s, so you're expecting a game in the mid-20s, right? The mid-upper 20s, similar to what we saw a year ago, and I think that's going to happen. But for LSU to be competitive, they're going to have to run the football. And I think Brian Kelly made some comments today about the running game through 2 games where you saw really different performances, struggling against Florida State, then getting going a little bit against Southern, but clearly who you played mattered.
I think it's hard for me to evaluate our running game right now. The competition last week, it's not a clear evaluator. I think we were better up front, and it was easier for us to run the football. I think as we get into SEC play, and in particular a team like Mississippi State, we'll get a better assessment of what that running game looks like. Look, it has to be consistent for us. And I look at run efficiency in terms of third down conversions, in terms of, averaging 4 yards per gain, in terms of efficiency of the running game, more so than, yards per game and how much you rush for. Those can be misleading numbers at times. And so the efficiency's been pretty good, but I think I can evaluate it better when we start to get into SEC play.
I love the way that he pointed that out because it's true. It's not necessarily your total rushing yardage. It is how efficient you are in running the football. And you could look at LSU's rushing yardage against Florida State and maybe think they were better than they really were because of the day Jaden Daniels had scrambling. That doesn't mean that you were good or effective in running the football against Florida State. And similarly, because you had success against Southern, doesn't necessarily mean that you're really good at running the football that day. You were just facing an overmatched opponent. For Mississippi State, they're running it for 100 yards a game, 101 to be exact, and 385 through the air so far through 2 games. But Mississippi State's rush defense is really the story. It's the one that pops. They're allowing 85 yards per game in their 2 games. This last week, they went on the road to Tucson and faced Arizona, albeit I'll grant you an overmatched Arizona team, but an Arizona team that is improved there in Tucson. And Arizona was held to just 40 rushing yards on 22 attempts. It's not like Arizona didn't try to run the football. They just couldn't. They averaged 1.8 yards a carry against Mississippi State. This is a very good defensive front, similar to what LSU saw against Florida State. So the challenge is much, much greater. The difference this go around, obviously, is that LSU is going to have John Emery. And Brian Kelly continues to sort of temper expectations for John Emery as he returns to the fold.
Big, he's explosive. He's bigger than the backs that we've had. Now, Noah Cain's got some size to him, but, he's got a little bit more speed and catches the ball well. I mean, look, he hasn't played in a year, so, for all of us, it's kind of like, let's see what he's got. We've seen what he can do in a practice situation, but, that's a big difference when it comes to game. He can't play a whole game because, obviously, he hasn't played in a year, but I think he's going to complement what we have already. He's got all the things that you look for in a back, but he just hasn't played very much. So we're not going to ask him to do too much, but we're going to give him the opportunity to insert himself into the game and see what he can do to, get our running game moving.
It's so interesting to think about not playing John Emery more because he hasn't played much. It almost feels counterintuitive. It's almost like, well, he's got fresh legs because he hasn't played much. As a freshman in 2019, he played in 10 games but had only 39 rushes. Of course, that was the national championship year. Carried the ball 39 times as a freshman. During the COVID year, he played in 9 of the 10 games, had 3 starts, and led, was second on the team in rushing, with just 378 yards. The best game of his career was that game against Vanderbilt. When the week after LSU lost to Mississippi State, they went on the road and beat Vanderbilt, and Emery had 103 yards on 12 carries. The most attempts he's had in a career is 18. That was the win against South Carolina when TJ Finley started. So, I mean, that's been 2 years. So I think Brian Kelly is right to temper expectation on John Emery. The physical skill set is there. That's undeniable. It's why he's a 5-star. It's why he's going to have a chance to play at the next level, regardless of what he does this year. Someone's going to give him a chance to go run in an NFL camp and see if he can play. But we also just haven't seen John Emery do much. It's kind of along the same lines of the conversation that a lot of people were having about Garrett Nussmeier before the season. You see the promise, the potential, but you really haven't seen it on the field. But the same is true with all of these running backs. And the underlying truth, the bigger picture truth to me is, I don't care how good your back is. If your line can't block, it doesn't matter. So I'm going to say this week the same thing that I said week 1 against Florida State, and that's that Jaden Daniels is going to be your leading rusher against Mississippi State out of necessity. And it's not going to be design runs. It's going to be scrambles because that's just how it's going to have to be, because I don't think LSU's line is going to be effective enough in moving bodies against Mississippi State. They're just not that good yet. Maybe they will progress to that point throughout the season, but I don't think that's going to be the case on Saturday in Tiger Stadium. My hope for John Emery is that he busts a big play. If John Emery through this game gets 6 or 8 touches, somewhere in that range, my hope is that one of them goes for 45. and put you in a position to flip the field or get points. That's what I think is in a game that I think is going to be very close. That's one where you may look and say, okay, that was a differentiator. That was a game changer. That's where you were pinned in your own territory and he busted one for 50 yards. Like that big burst play from John Emery. It might only be one, but that's what I'm looking for this weekend with John Emery against Mississippi State. And hopefully, as the season goes along, his workload can increase, working in tandem with LSU's offensive line improving, and that run game may get better and better and better as they go along through the season. But the long-awaited return of John Emery is almost at hand. It'll be Saturday against Mississippi State in Tiger Stadium. Okay, it's After Further Review. We're brought to you by HUDCO Roofing, HUDCOroofing.com. Do business with someone you know. Two things real quick about HUDCO. One, Ida. You have 2 years from the storm to file a claim. So if last year you maybe got caught in the shuffle with so much going on after the storm and you never filed your claim, you can do it now and we can help. HUDCOroofing.com, HUDCOroofing.com. Also, there was a hail event in the southeast part of Baton Rouge on September the 7th. We got a hail strike map. So September the 7th, Shenandoah, Millerville, O'Neill, George O'Neill, that whole area of town. It is so worth having us come to a free, no-obligation roofing inspection. We spot the damage. We'll help you file the claim. We'll meet with the adjuster. We'll get your roof replaced. HUDCOroofing.com. Go to the website. Get your free inspection. You'll see the contact form right there on the homepage. Do business with someone you know. HUDCO Roofing, HUDCOroofing.com. Or I'm happy to help facilitate for you directly. Just email me, Matt@HUDCOroofing.com. M-A-T-T, Matt@HUDCOroofing.com. All right, y'all. It's After Further Review. We'll knock out a quick break and continue. Stick around. It's AFR.
AFR.
Bayou Ford has $15,000 off MSRP on a new 2021 Ford F-150. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million-mile powertrain warranty and free delivery. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
This summer, meet Acura's heroes of performance. Only available at the Acura Summer of Performance.
This summer, visit your local Acura dealer for attractive offers on the MDX.
Le posso offrire un caffè? Le posso offrire un caffè? Andiamo insieme da me, non c'è.
Call Mr. Electric today for electrical repairs, upgrades, and installations.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I'm Jay Ducote. I grew up learning how to cook at LSU tailgate parties and right in my own backyard. And I created JD's Louisiana Products to bring that Louisiana flavor to you at home for your backyard cookout. JD's Louisiana Barbecue Sauce, Louisiana Molasses Mustard, Spicy and Sweet Barbecue Rub, and more are available at your local supermarkets or by logging on to jducote.com/shop. Put in promo code CST for 25% off at checkout.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact Service Master Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. Service Master Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the Byrd.
Taylor Calandro in about 25 minutes from right now. Get your booze questions in for a little Bourbon Dictionary. A lot going on tonight. As you just heard, Plucker's trivia tonight every Wednesday, both locations, 7:30 at Bluebonnet, 8 o'clock at Nicholson. Go test your knowledge. We'll get some trivia later in the show. And, of course, T-Bob and I will be at Oliver Twist tonight for Scone and Tea. So come hang out with me and T-Bob from 7 to 8. Go hit up Plucker's Trivia for the rest of the night. Make a night of it. Undeniably, Tom Brady is not only the greatest quarterback, but greatest football player ever, and is on the short list of the greatest athletes ever, greatest champions ever. Whichever greatest list you want to come with, Tom Brady's on it, we all know. The oddity is that in 4 regular season meetings against the Saints, he has certainly not been that at all. For whatever reason, Dennis Allen and the Saints have just had Tom Brady's number. Shout out to, I saw this at Saints Wire. They pointed out that the Saints have a plus 66 points differential against Tom Brady, the most of any opponent against Tom Brady. Plus 66. That's incredible. That's just beating Tom Brady. They're beating him badly. They've sacked him more times than any teams other than AFC East rivals that saw him twice a year for 20 years. 5th most interceptions and fumbles in Brady's career. It's incredible to see how the Saints have managed Tom Brady. So a lot of this week and a lot of this season is going to be about Tom Brady. And Brady was on his podcast. It's called Let's Go, correct? His Let's Go podcast. And, of course, he retired briefly this offseason, only to unretire. But he did address the rumors about his retirement.
I think for me, I'm just going to take it day by day, and I'll evaluate everything as it comes. So I know it's one of these days they're going to be right. I will say that. One of the days, if you make enough predictions and so forth, and I think we've all kind of talked about the predictions that have not come true, but I think for me, the ability to play and love what I'm doing in year 23 with a new group of teammates and a really committed team, it's really fun for me.
But they were right because he did retire this year and then he unretired. Some dudes just can't walk away. Like coaches that can't walk away, there's some players that's the same thing, and Brady's still great at it. But the thing that's changed, obviously, and changes every year is the fact that every year he's a year older and you worry about or wonder about the physical toll it takes. I've compared Brady at this point and this Bucs team a lot to the 2010 Vikings when Brett Favre made one more go at it. They were so close, right? In 2009, NFC Championship game, they lose to the Saints in overtime. Brett decides to run it. He was on the fringe, decided to run it back one more time, and they went 6-10 that year. He was injured. It just didn't go well. You might make a comp to the Saints in 2020. The Saints were so close in 18. Breeze played again in 19. It looked like he was going to walk away after 19. He had told the franchise that he was telling people at the Pro Bowl he was leaving. Decided to give it one more go in 2020, and they made the playoffs, but promptly exited, as we saw at the hands of the eventual champion Bucs. But we saw Breeze at the end of his career deal with injuries, and Brady was talking about taking hits at 45 years old.
There's a huge level of commitment for your body physically at an older age because it requires so much more care. Now, it requires care when you're younger too, but at the same time, there's no margin of error when you're 45. You take hits and you feel every hit, and when you're younger, your body's a lot different. And when you're 45, your body changes a lot. So what am I dealing with now? I woke up today going, holy that was there was a few hits and you look at your arm and you got bruises, you got cuts, and you got, the way it is, and you go, okay, how much longer do I want to make this commitment? And I obviously made the commitment for this year, and everything's going to be, like always, continue to evaluate, all these different aspects of playing.
Speaking of injuries, the Saints injury report is out, the first injury report for this week against Tampa Bay. And I think the name that everyone is immediately going to look at is Alvin Kamara. Paulson Adebo factors in, which we'll get to in a moment. But Kamara, of course, had the rib injury, as Dennis Allen described. And they signed Latavius Murray yesterday to the practice squad.
Murray, present.
And the thought was, we talked about a lot here, clearly is, man, if you brought Latavius Murray back.
Murray, present.
It's because you need a Sunday running back in case if Alvin Kamara is not able to go. Well, the good news is that Kamara did participate. He was limited. Remember, you're either listed as limited or full, so he was limited with the rib, as was Cameron Jordan. You don't really worry about that. Cameron Jordan's just a guy up in his career where sometimes you're going to have bumps and bruises like Brady talked about. So he's limited on there with a hip injury, but might just very well be taking it easy on a veteran guy. Marcus May was limited with an ankle injury. Traquan limited with the shoulder. He, of course, was out last week. Dwayne Washington, who also was out with the hamstring, he was limited. Jameis, well, a lot of people wondered about Jameis and what the injury was that caused him to go into the tent. Well, now we know it was a back injury. So Jameis was limited with a back injury on Wednesday. Landon Young limited, as were Mark Ingram, Calvin Throckmorton with illness, and Alontae Taylor with a hip injury. The other big name that we were talking about was Paulson Adebo, and he's the only on the injury list that did not participate. So whatever it is with that ankle that's limiting Paulson Adebo, clearly it's still an issue. He missed week 1. He did not participate here on Wednesday of week 2, like we often talk about. If you're not out there, for practice by Friday, that's a gigantic red flag that you're probably not going to be able to go. So not yet ready to panic on Adebo this week, but like we talked about, it's so much a case of don't listen to what I'm saying, watch what I'm doing. And when the Saints can say what they want about Adebo or this or that, but when you go sign Trey Swilling and you add a cornerback, clearly they're trying to add bodies at that position as everyone sort of moves up a seat. When you go add Latavius Murray to the roster,
present.
It's very clearly you're setting up for a possibility of being short a guy at that position. So you add a guy. That's what we'll keep our eye on as we go throughout the week. The good news is, and sometimes we see an injury report and we tend to freak out because you immediately assume the worst, but the good news is all these guys were participating, they were limited. And sometimes it's just giving guys, especially veteran players like a Cameron Jordan or a Marcus May or a Kamara, just taking it easy on them when they're veteran and they don't need this practice necessarily. Just have them ready to go for Sunday, and that seems to be where they are with some of those guys. But we'll keep an eye on Adebo as we move throughout the week, and certainly Kamara as well. All right, it's After Further Review. I've been loving the response, telling you all about Mold Zero, mold-0usa.com, mold-0usa.com. Mold Zero, they killed mold. They remove odors in every nook and cranny of your home, office, your place of business. It is a patented dry fog technology. It is non-toxic, so this is minimally disruptive or invasive. It really, you only have to be out of your house for about 2 hours while it dries. They service the entire Baton Rouge, entire New Orleans areas, so you can go to the website at mold-0usa.com, mold-0usa.com, and you'll see the phone number for the Baton Rouge office or the New Orleans office. They service the greater areas, of course, the North Shore as well. You can always get a free estimate, but if you have issues with mold in your home, your office, your place of business, or odors or other disruptive and harmful pathogens, they can help. It's mold zero. It's mold and odor removal. You're talking about little or no demolition required. You're not ripping out sheetrock or things like that. They're just going to come in and kill that mold for you. It's mold zero. Mold-0USA.com. Mold-0USA.com. All right, it's after further review. We're glad to have you hanging out here with us. We'll go around the SEC. Taylor Calandro in about 15 minutes for a little Bourbon Dictionary. We always look forward to having Taylor aboard with us here. And the LSU, Muso, calm down. Muse, calm down. The LSU baseball. Muse, stop it.
I will not.
Calm down, okay?
I will not.
Sit down, Muse.
I am
Take your seat.
I am sitting down.
Oh, are you?
Yeah, I'm just really short.
That was a short joke. Sorry. Not sorry, actually. We usually reserve those for Terrio when he's here on Fridays. The LSU baseball schedule is out, so we know LSU's conference opponents. We'll run through that here in just a quick second as well. And then Paul Byrd in 30 minutes. Like, I swear it's a Wednesday during football season, but Paul Byrd was elected to the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame today. We'll talk to the former LSU great in about 30 minutes from right now. Glad you're here. It's AFR.
AFR.
There it is, the extra mile. On the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further. Like vans customized for work or play. With safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
They said I was small, weak, said my heart wasn't strong enough. But I showed them what heart looked like, again and again and again. Mom got me the right care, the right doctors with Blue Cross coverage. Don't let people tell you who you are. Show them the right card, the right care.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big D and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you were born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
This summer, meet Acura's heroes of performance. available at the Acura Summer of Performance.
This summer, visit your local Acura dealer for attractive.
She closed her eyes. In the night, the stormy night, away she flies. A dream of
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the Byrd.
Congratulations to John Torrance of Hammond. John is our Week 2 winner in the 2022 Twin Peaks College Football Pick'em Contest. John wins a $50 Twin Peaks gift card. Don't forget to make your picks for Week 3 by 5 p.m. on Thursday. Play the 2022 Twin Peaks College Football Pick'em today, 1045ESPN.com.
All right, we'll go around the SEC in just a quick second. But there was a thing that happened today. The Southeastern Conference released the SEC baseball schedule, which means we now know what conference opponents LSU will play in the 2023 season, year 2 of the Jay Johnson era. So, Muso, I'm going to put you on the clock. You have 60 seconds to rejoice and give me your thoughts. It's football season, Muse.
It is football season.
You've got hang on. I'm getting my clock out. Wait, that's the world clock. I don't want that. Timer. No. You know what? Yeah, I'll do a timer. All right, here we go. All right, go.
It is football season, Matt, but spring is going to be awesome. So, schedule looks better, obviously, than it did last year. Last year was just a gauntlet. Interesting, you're going to go to Round Rock for the Carbot Classic there. You'll play Sam Houston State, Iowa, and one other team that's escaped me because I don't have the schedule in front of me. But you'll stay there, Matt, and then you'll travel down to Austin, play Texas in a midweek game. How about 10 games? How much time on Thursday? 10 games in 15 days to wrap the non-conference schedule. Start with Bama, then travel to South Carolina. Good start, but the big one, Week 3 in the conference, the Tennessee Vols, the bad boys of college baseball. They come to the box. You know what sucks, though? LSU opens the season Mardi Gras weekend. That sucks from like an attendance standpoint, but they're going to sweep Western Michigan anyway.
And it's going to be cold.
It's going to be cold. Fun spring coming up. 56-0. Lock it in. Championship. Time to spare there. No back-to-back road SEC series like that.
Did I only get 2 little bleep bleeps from?
Maybe.
I thought it bleep bleep more than that.
I thought it was continuous. Like you had like turn it off.
Well done, Muse. Well done with your 60 seconds on LSU baseball. I'm going to push back though that the schedule last year was brutal. It actually ended up. We talked about it being very favorable because of who they had at home and who they had on the road last year. They didn't draw Tennessee or
they didn't draw
Florida.
Tennessee. No, they had Florida. They had to go to Florida and to Arkansas and to State.
Vanderbilt.
They had to go to Vanderbilt.
They didn't.
Their road schedule sucked last year, Matt.
No.
They swept Vandy at home.
Hang on. No, I remember. Paul, I need this. Thank you. That was late in the season too.
It was the last series.
I felt like they were getting going. Why am I trying to do this off the cuff now? I don't have time. No, but there was no. Was there back-to-backs?
Yeah, at State, at Arkansas. Your road schedule last year was terrible, and you had to go to Houston for the Shriners, where you played Texas.
Who was home?
This
is way too much. We've gone way over 60 seconds, and my brain is not processing this right now.
It now.
I know I did.
I know I did. The door.
But what I recall is maybe we thought the schedule was going to be brutal, and then end up not being because of who was good and who wasn't.
Yeah, like State ended up being bad.
Right. State was bad. Vanderbilt was bad.
Florida wasn't great.
Florida was not great last year. That was it. We looked at it and went, oh, brutal, and it ended up not being. Because we talked about how it started, where it was like, man, you get A&M at home, and you're like, that should be
and turns out
a great way to start. And they ended up being really good.
Yeah.
You had to go to Florida. They were preseason top 10, and they ended up not being good. You took 2 out of 3. You were home against Auburn, and that ended up not being so great either.
I don't want to talk about that
So
series.
I know. But then you went to State, and then thankfully Rivers was there, so LSU swept. So, by the way, have we confirmed that Rivers is going to be in Tiger Stadium on Saturday?
We can get her a credential or some tickets or something for sure.
No, we're not going credentials. I need palatial seats for the entire Huey family, so that way they don't leave.
Guarantee suite?
Sure, if that's what we have to do. I mean, I told Rivers this because I didn't know about all. For those who don't know, Rivers, who was one-time producer of, I guess, was it Colada and the Prince? Or was she just with T-Bob and...
No, Colada and the Prince.
Was she here for Colada and the Prince?
So.
I don't know. Boy, that's old school.
Maybe it was just T-Bob and
Either way,
sure.
Rivers, who's done a bunch with this, anyway, went to Mississippi State. Apparently there's a thing where every time she goes to a Mississippi State game, they lose. She was at all 3 games with LSU and State in baseball this last year. LSU swept. I saw this on Twitter, and so I then replied to her on Twitter and said, Rivers, it would be my honor to foot the bill for the entire Huey family to be in Tiger Stadium this year for the football game. And so I will hold up concessions and everything. It's on me.
Ooh.
It's on me. It's on me. I'm playing my part.
That's how you sweeten the pot, concessions.
I'm playing my part here. Okay. It's after further review. We're brought to you by Relief Windows, reliefwindows.com. 288-8138, 288-8138, or reliefwindows.com. Windows, doors, siding, Relief Windows, and reliefwindows.com. Remember, energy-efficient replacement windows, you want to lower those energy bills, winter or summer, when you have the AC or the heater on. You want to reduce costly air leaks. Energy-efficient replacement windows are a way to do it. Of course, beautiful entry doors, hardy plank or vinyl siding. It's Relief Windows and reliefwindows.com. 288-8138, 288-8138 for Relief Windows and reliefwindows.com. Okay, do it every day about this time. Let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products, excellence in imaging solutions.
Okay, because we're short on time, I'm going to modify this around the SEC today and really just spend a couple of minutes talking about a release today from the Southeastern Conference. They have announced adjustments to Georgia and Tennessee's football schedules. This does impact LSU. So both Georgia and Tennessee had home and home series, non-conference series scheduled with Oklahoma. Well, both home and home series will bleed into OU becoming a permanent member of the Southeastern Conference. As a result, the league has instructed both Georgia and Tennessee to cancel the second game of their home and home series. What that means, and this really stinks for Tennessee, Tennessee is going to play in Norman, but they are not going to get the return game in 2024. Also, Georgia will get Oklahoma at home, but they will not get the game at Oklahoma. The game at Oklahoma will not be played in 2023. So that's canceled. As a result, I looked ahead. LSU plays Oklahoma in 2027, 2028 in a non-conference schedule. I reached out to Verge Ausberry today, who informed me that LSU and Oklahoma will not be played as a non-conference game. Of course, LSU also loses what would have been the return trip from Texas. LSU played at Texas in 2019, as we know. The return trip in 2020 was canceled because of COVID. They were looking at a future year to make up that game, but because Texas is now coming into the league, that would be a conference game, so LSU is going to lose that non-conference game against Texas permanently, and the 2027-2028 Oklahoma series will not be played as a non-conference series. LSU has already been looking for replacements for Oklahoma for 2027 and 2028, and Verge did tell me they are looking for a Power 5 opponent regardless of SEC schedule. So if the SEC goes to 9 games, LSU is still looking for a Power 5 non-conference opponent to replace Oklahoma for 2027 and 2028. Okay, there you have it. That is Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products. Shout out to our guy Trey Beal and our friends at Gulf Coast Office Products, official office equipment provider of LSU Athletics. They've been that for 20 years now, but they're also the official office equipment provider of the Saints, the Pelicans, and the Ragin' Cajuns. It's Gulf Coast Office Products, 45 years in business. Check them out at gcopnet.com, gcopnet.com. for Gulf Coast Office Products. Okay, quick break. We'll come back. Taylor Calandro, join us for a little Bourbon Dictionary. Get your booze questions in now. You know how. It's AFR.
AFR.
Speaking of booze, go drink some booze tonight at Pluckers and test your knowledge at Pluckers Trivia. Every single Wednesday, Nicholson just south of campus, Bluebonnet right in front of the Mall of Louisiana. 7:30 trivia at Bluebonnet, 8 o'clock trivia at Nicholson. Live action trivia, test your knowledge, Have a great time. Get as many people as you want on your team together to go make a night of it. You can win Pluckers gift cards. You can win Amazon gift cards. You can win other great prizes from retailers all over our fair city. That's at Pluckers, and every single team, win or lose a round. If you never win a round, you'll still get to spin the prize wheel. Every team will, and you win something on the prize wheel. That's at Pluckers every single Wednesday. You always have great drink specials as well at Pluckers for Wednesday night trivia, either location. Nicholson, just south of campus. Bluebonnet, right in front of the Mall of Louisiana. Make it your home for game day and NFL Sunday ticket. It's Pluckers, if you don't like our wings. We'll give you the Byrd.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I'm Jay Ducote. I grew up learning how to cook at LSU tailgate parties and right in my own backyard. And I created JD's Louisiana products to bring that Louisiana flavor to you at home for your backyard cookout. JD's Louisiana barbecue sauce, Louisiana molasses mustard, spicy and sweet barbecue rub, and more are available at your local supermarkets or by logging on to jducote.com/shop. Put in promo code CST for 25% off at checkout.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Pluckers Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Pluckers Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the Byrd.
They're the gang with the slang. This is Bourbon Dictionary with Matt Moscona and Taylor Calandro.
All right, wrapping up hour number one. Glad you're with us here. Taylor joins us to answer all your booze questions. What's going on, man? How are you?
I'm great, Matt. How are you?
Doing fantastic. Anything new? It kind of, look, it's almost fall. Are we getting closer to big drops in bourbon season?
Sure. And, man, I don't know if anybody's been outside like before 7 a.m. the past few days. It's bourbon weather.
It's been really nice.
Great. It's been like low 60s and in the evenings, too.
The nighttime is when I've noticed it. Yes, the nighttime has been great.
But to answer your question, nothing really super new yet. We did put out some we did get some Blanton's, McKenna 10, a little bit of Old Carter and Eagle Rare. We put that out today at Perkins Road. I don't know if there's any left, but that was like a couple hours ago.
Oh, look at my guy over here.
Yeah.
You're just trying to get bum rushed, aren't you?
Please don't blow up the phones. Please don't blow up the phones.
Like, what do you think's going to happen? You just came on radio and said you have Blanton's and Eagle Rare and Old Carter. Like, what do you think is going to happen? Of course, people.
I'm going to find out if we have any left, and I mean, because we put it out unannounced in the middle of the day today, so I'm willing to bet there are things left on.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay.
Out there.
All right.
So.
All right, let's get to questions. You know the drill. I got a question for Taylor. Fire away. Email me, tweet me, jump on the Bayou Ford YouTube chat. You can text 225-396-4400, 396-4400. Sean Kaminsky says, Taylor, what's the best IPA? He said, I'm liking Ghost in the Machine, which obviously is a very popular.
Man, Ghost is my favorite, probably my favorite beer on earth currently. So it's hard to deviate from that. Juicer is really good, just a little single IPA. I mean, it's super popular too. Also, we talk about Rally Cap a lot on this show. Rally Cap has some good hoppy beers too. They're pretty much their full lineup of hoppy beers is good. So check them out.
I did try the EFIS pitch that you mentioned last week. It was good.
Did you like it?
I did.
I hadn't tried it yet.
I did like it. But my favorite one is their Killabrew. It's like the hazy double IPA.
Most of the hoppy stuff that I've had from them is very good, and they make little sours too that are good too.
Let's see. Craig Dugas said, "Hey Taylor, I just purchased 4-Gate Port Perry, supposed to be midwinter nitrogen ram on steroids. Have you tried it? Price tag is what kept me away from 4-Gate in general. Are there any in the lineup that are can't miss bottles?"
Which 4-Gate did he say he got?
Perry, Port Perry.
Man, I have only tried one of the 4-Gates, and I cannot even remember. It was the blue label, and I can't remember which one that is. They are pricey. I've heard they're good, and they're reviewed really good, but they're pricey. I mean, they creep up into the $200 range, which is like Old Carter territory, which is I think is getting up there for bourbon in general. I mean, there's some bottles out there that I think can pull that much money in, obviously. But 4-Gate is a lesser known distillery. But from what I've heard, their liquid's good. So yeah. But the one thing I've had from them is very good.
Jamie Perk asked Taylor, thoughts on Rabbit Hole bourbon?
I love Rabbit Hole, man. And they're fairly new. They're in the heart of Louisville. The Derringer is a really good one. Cave Hill's really good. I've tried the full lineup of the stuff that we have available, and we just got a one-off, like a 1 of 1,000 bottle. I can't remember which one it was. It's a super rare Rabbit Hole. And I can't remember which one it was, but we only got a bottle of it, and we sold it the day we got it for $1,000. So.
Jeez. Oh my God. Brandon Frederick asked Taylor, have you seen, read about, or tried the Glenfiddich IPA cask finish Scotch? Looks intriguing. I'm curious if it's worth the cost to try.
Yes, I have tried it, and I thought it was good, actually. It's a little different, and you don't get a ton of IPA in that. It's just kind of a gimmicky thing. They did a whole little experimental series, and those have got to be kind of hard to find still. But yes, I have tried it, and yes, it is good.
How about this one? Patrick Comiskey said, I just wanted to thank Taylor for the Redbreast Irish Whiskey recommendation 2 weeks ago. Obviously, my son was listening and got me a bottle for my birthday on Monday. I love this segment. That's pretty good.
Sweet. Man, Redbreast 12, just the 12 is one of my favorite Irish whiskeys out there. So that's awesome.
Seth Talley said, if you had an extra Weller 12, what would you trade it for?
What would I trade a Weller 12? I love Weller 12, so I really wouldn't trade it.
Same.
What would I try? I don't know. That's a tough question because I love Weller 12.
Zach Schwarzer asked Taylor, do you ship to Texas?
We do not ship. You cannot ship in the state of Louisiana, out of the state of Louisiana, unfortunately. I wish we could, though, because I know there's a lot of guys from Houston that stop by every time they come in town. So
Jamie Leday said a must-have $75 to $100 bottle of bourbon. What are you buying?
Must-have $75 to $100. If you can find a Weller CYPB.
Good luck. But yeah,
Yep.
the white label Weller, it's as good an option. But if you want to find something that's on a shelf anywhere in that price range, what would you say?
Man, like I would find a really good barrel pick, like a Baker's barrel pick, or an Old Elk barrel pick, like the weeded bourbon, or a Jefferson's Ocean weeded barrel pick.
Ding, ding, ding.
Those are all really good.
If you
in
can
that
find,
price range.
that's what I was saying. If you can find a Jefferson's Ocean weeded, it's worth the money, and the Old Elk weeded is worth the money as well.
Those weeded picks are about to start circulating again.
Awesome.
I hope.
Awesome. Save me one. Dustin Blanchard said, ask Taylor, where does the Costco bourbon come from? Like what distillery?
That's a good question. There's.
Oh God, we got like 10 seconds. My bad.
I don't know. Short answer.
My bad on the time there. Taylor, we
All right,
appreciate it, man. As always, have a great week. We'll talk next week.
All right, man.
All right, that is Taylor Calandro, Wine and Spirits Director at Calandro's Little Bourbon Dictionary. We appreciate him. It's After Further Review. We're brought to you by Pluckers. SportsCenter's coming up. Paul Byrd joins us next.
AFR.
Brought to you by Shaw Bills Tire and Auto Service. ShawBillsTire.com. Bumper to bumper auto service and name brand tires at wholesale prices. You know where to find them there at Shaw Bills with 17 locations in South Louisiana. How about a shout out to my guy Brian Holland from Local 33 and 44. Of course, sent me a tweet earlier today shouting out Shaw Bills. He said, I'll read you the tweet directly. He said, I needed a new tire yesterday. They not only had the lowest price, they somehow got me in and out in less than an hour. I didn't know that was possible. Fast, friendly, knowledgeable, and he put in parentheses, not a paid ad. So thank you very much to Brian Holland for that. He's on Twitter at BHollandSports, so shout out to him. That's what they do at Shaw Bills. They're going to treat you like family. They're going to get you in and out quickly. They're going to give you the best price. That's why they've been around for more than 50 years. They do great business at a fair price, and they treat you great. It's Shaw Bills, where we keep you rolling.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big D and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you were born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. NBA Commissioner Adam Silver today explained the league's reasoning behind the one-year suspension and $10 million fine handed to Suns owner Robert Sarver for his conduct that violated workplace standards. He said while Sarver's conduct was indefensible, the totality of his conduct throughout his tenure was considered in determining discipline. Also said the league never considered removing him as an owner. The Chargers will not have receiver Keenan Allen for tomorrow night's AFC West showdown against the Chiefs because of a hamstring injury. Even with Allen out, quarterback Justin Herbert can still have a big night, believes ESPN NFL analyst Dominique Foxworth.
Herbert is good enough, obviously, to overcome missing Keenan Allen. It's not like he doesn't have any other weapons. They have what's more important is they have a good offensive line. And if they can protect him, he can buy time and he can throw it anywhere on the field and hit anybody in any spot. So, yeah, he's going to put up numbers.
Dominique Foxworth. KC kicker Harrison Butker's out with an ankle injury tomorrow night. Matt Amendola is expected to kick in the game. Jets quarterback Joe Flacco starts a second straight game against the Browns on Sunday.
Summer Bonanza means more business in the fall months. Hire right with Indeed. Their integrated solution lets you schedule and conduct video interviews all in one place. Finding your next great hire has never been this easy. Get hiring at Indeed.com/credit.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
That's right.
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by Pluckers. I'm Matt.
I am sweating.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
You so. And Mr. Toby Tom Blake. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. All right, we'll talk to Verge Ausberry 1 hour from right now. Looking forward to having Verge on the show. We'll talk about LSU's future football scheduling. As we noted, the league put out a release today that Georgia and Tennessee, who each had a home-and-home schedule with Oklahoma, they've been instructed, those two schools have to cancel their games with Oklahoma that bled into Oklahoma's joining the SEC. There was no mention in the release, however, of LSU's future series in 2027, 2028. Did have a conversation with Verge Ausberry earlier. He said it's because that's a little far out, but they've known they're not going to be able to play that series, and there's no word as to whether or not that series could be played. I know some of you are thinking, well, of course they can't play it. They'll be in the conference. But, I mean, there's two schools of thought. You could certainly play a conference opponent in a non-conference game. We see that in baseball often. As foreign a thought as that is, if it's scheduled far enough out, or they could be scheduled for those years as a conference opponent, which is no guarantee, remember, because we still don't even know what the format is going to be of the SEC schedule. What we do know is that LSU now is going to have to shuffle some things on their schedule for 27, 28 future non-conference opponents, not only Power 5 and otherwise. So Verge will be with us 1 hour from right now. All right, today the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame announced their newest signing class, their newest class of electees. The 2023 induction class is star-studded. We are supposed to be talking with Paul Byrd, former LSU great, who's a part of that class. We're having trouble connecting with Paul right now. Paul is part of a 10-member class that includes Elena Byrd, Walter Davis, Wendell Davis, Matt Forte, Walter Imahara, who's a weightlifter, Coach Palmineri, Eli Manning would certainly be the headliner, Ron Washington, who brought the Texas Rangers to back-to-back World Series appearances, and M.L. Woodruff, who's a longtime high school baseball coach in Louisiana. That's the 10-member induction class, which will be inducted in during the summer there at the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame in Natchitoches. So we'll try to get a hold of Paul Byrd if we can. If not, apologies. We'll just move on. So I was thinking about this earlier today because there's been so much talk about quarterback play in the Southeastern Conference. And I have long held, in my mind anyway, that for as long as I've covered the SEC, which is back to 2007, this is my 16th season covering LSU and SEC football. Certainly have watched my whole life. But I have, just for me, you may disagree, but this is for me. I have always felt 2013 was the best quarterback year in the SEC that I'd ever seen, and arguably ever. Not definitively, again, arguably. Like, you could make an argument for this as the best quarterback year ever in the league. Let me run through the quarterbacks in the SEC from 2013 as they finished in order of passing yardage. Johnny Manziel from Texas A&M led the league. That was the year after he won the Heisman. So you had the reigning Heisman Trophy winner. Bo Wallace from Ole Miss was second. Of course, we joked there was good Bo, bad Bo, but the undeniable truth is that he was a productive player at Ole Miss and won a lot of big games with Hugh Freeze calling the offense. Zach Mettenberger from LSU was third. Aaron Murray from Georgia, one of the winningest quarterbacks in the history of the Southeastern Conference. A.J. McCarron, a two-time national championship winning quarterback, was fifth. Connor Shaw led South Carolina to back-to-back 11-win seasons and was arguably the greatest quarterback they ever had at Carolina. James Franklin from Missouri, who got Mizzou into the SEC championship game. How about this name? Austin Carter Samuels from Vanderbilt, who, when James Franklin was at Vanderbilt, they, of course, had Jordan Rodgers and then Austin Carter Samuels. Like, he was a really good quarterback at Vanderbilt in Vanderbilt context. Nick Marshall. Nick Marshall in 2013, of course, led Auburn within 13 seconds of a national championship. 10th in the league. You ready for this? 10th in the league in passing in 2013. How about Dak Prescott? 10th in the league in passing. Brandon Allen was at Arkansas, who became a really good player at Arkansas by the time his career was done. And there were three programs that were just a mess at that time. Florida started three different quarterbacks: Tyler Murphy, Skylar Morningwig, and Jeff Driscoll. Tennessee started both Justin Worley and Joshua Dobbs. And Kentucky had Maxwell Smith and Jalen Whitlow. So Florida, Tennessee, and Kentucky were a mess. But the other 11 teams in the league had really, really good quarterback play, which included a national champion in A.J. McCarron, a Heisman winner in Johnny Manziel, really great college quarterbacks in Zach Mettenberger and Aaron Murray. James Franklin at Missouri made them really good. Nick Marshall, as we mentioned, who got Auburn within 13 seconds of a national championship. Dak Prescott, who is, I think, arguably the greatest player in Mississippi State football history. He's gone on to be a great NFL player as well. So 2013 for me has always been the bar as far as level of quarterback play in the SEC. It was like everybody except the three teams I mentioned were really good at quarterback. This year might challenge it. We're early in the season, so I'm not sure that it's the appropriate time to have this conversation, but maybe just to put it on your radar that we could come back and revisit it later. I think if we're going to talk about this year, you'll start obviously at the top. You got Bryce Young, who's the reigning Heisman Trophy winner, right? You've got Stetson Bennett, who's the reigning national champion as well, who's back. Hendon Hooker, Will Levis, Will Rogers. I think we would all agree all three of them are NFL prospects. You look at mock drafts, you find all three of them on NFL mock drafts. Hendon Hooker, Will Levis, Will Rogers. They're all going to get probably drafted and have a chance to play in the league. Levis is in some mocks as a first-round pick. as is Anthony Richardson. Now, we've seen polar opposite performances from Richardson in back-to-back weeks. The great performance against Utah, and then we saw what happened last week against Kentucky, where he wasn't very good, certainly wasn't very good for the second half football. But Richardson, you see pop up in some mock drafts as a first-round pick. He certainly has that potential. That's before we even mention a guy like Spencer Rattler at South Carolina, who was in everybody's top 5 mock draft a year ago, lost the job at Oklahoma, now he's at South Carolina. We'll see if he can rebound. I just rattled off 1, 2, Young, Hooker, Levis, Rogers, Richardson, Bennett, Rattler. I just rattled off 7 names before I even got to Jaden Daniels, who's now in his 4th year as a starting quarterback and is likely going to be a draft pick this year as well, who might be the 8th best quarterback in the league right now. So it is a deep, talented league. Now, what's going to happen at Ole Miss? Don't know. I mean, they're still jockeying back and forth. Missouri's a little bit of a mess. Vandy and Mike Wright had a couple of good games against against Hawaii and Elon, and really he was terrible last week. He threw for 35 yards in the loss to Wake Forest. So what does it look like the rest of the way? Texas A&M has been a disaster with Haynes King. My feeling is Max Johnson ultimately is going to take that job. I think Max Johnson's going to start this week against Miami. I don't know if you're Jimbo Fisher, how you go another direction than that this week. And a potential for a big bounce-back spot with a ranked team coming in. You've got to give Max Johnson a shot this week. So maybe that turns things around a little. But for context, in 2013, I rattled off 11 names that were all awesome. This year, I think you've got 8. I'm missing somebody. Who am I missing? Oh. Auburn. My bad, TJ Finley. So let's just go ahead and put Finley. I have like the column, right? Like the good quarterbacks and then the questions. Let's just go ahead and put Finley and Auburn on the right side of the list, on the big question or bad right now. But you have 8, I think, really good quarterbacks, and then you have a handful of schools right now that are, that are struggling at that position clearly. 9 that are really good. Young, Hooker, Levis, Rogers, Richardson, Daniels, Bennett, Rattler. Who else did I forget? I'm leaving somebody off this list. Oh. How did I forget? The Arkin frauds. KJ Jefferson, who obviously, my bad, Muse. That's Heisman candidate.
Correct.
KJ Jefferson. How could I forget KJ?
That's him. He's the guy.
But he does belong on the left side of this list because he's been really, really good this year. I mean, he's the best quarterback they've had there. I think you could say since Brandon Allen. I mean, Brandon Allen with Bobby Petrino was a good player, and then Bobby Petrino fell off the bike, and then the whole program went to hell in a handbasket. I mean, Bielema just didn't work, and then everything they went through since. But the Chad Morris era was atrocious. But yes, so Bryce Young, Hendon Hooker, Will Levis, Will Rogers, Anthony Richardson, Jaden Daniels, Stetson Bennett, Spencer Rattler, KJ Jefferson. You got 9 really good quarterbacks in this league, and a handful that are not great. But I do think this is the deepest the league's been at quarterback since 2013. I will be very interested to revisit this at the end of the year to see who on the left side of the list migrates to the right, and if anybody on the right side of this list can jump over to the left side and be better than competent, even good. I think the best shot would be whoever ends up winning the Ole Miss job. Likely Jackson Dart. Jackson Dart has talent, played at USC a year ago, now with Kiffin. I think Dart has that ceiling. And then I would say Max Johnson as well. Max Johnson started a lot of games in the SEC. I think he's a very good player. I think he's got a ceiling where he's limited physically, arm strength, mobility, stuff like that. But he's a big, athletic, strong-arm kid who I think can, who's a winner too. I think Max Johnson will, if he wins that job, will ultimately stabilize A&M. I don't know I don't know that they're getting above, 8 wins this year, but he can stabilize that job. So we'll revisit that again at the end of the season. All right, it's After Further Review. We're glad to have you hanging out with us here. Always love chatting with you, and we appreciate you for being here. We'll talk to Verge Ausberry in 45 minutes. Let me knock out a quick break, and we'll continue on AFR.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by River City's 1 Hour Air, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime. 752-0001, 752-0001. 752-0001 for River City's 1 Hour Air. Love sharing great testimonials like I do every single day with you here. People who are real-life customers who have had a great experience with River City's 1 Hour Air. Adam Ring sent this Facebook review, said Brendan and his partner were the bomb. I'm reading that directly. I didn't make that up. The bomb. Very professional and personable. Definitely made it a wonderful install day. Listen, it is not fun when your AC goes out. It's not fun when you have to replace your AC unit. We had to do that a couple of years ago. But one thing I learned is that you could have 50 different install techs come install the same unit, and you could have 50 different quality jobs that will directly correlate with the life and performance of that unit. Do it right the first time. River City's 1 Hour Air. 752-0001.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $12,000 off MSRP on all new 2022 Ram Black Widow trucks in stock. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty and free delivery. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou is going to do right by you.
When I was a boy, I spent my days climbing trees, catching fish. Barefoot in the river I walked, listening to crickets, counting stars. This was home. After my stroke, I wondered if I'd make it back to the people and places I love. But I got the right doctors with Blue Cross coverage. Your card matters. Your home does too.
Want more customers? Running Boards Marketing can help you get their attention. Imagine your brand's message on a giant LED billboard truck that can't be skipped and is nearly impossible to ignore. Running Boards Marketing is the leader in effective and affordable advertising on digital mobile billboards, which are 2 times more effective than traditional billboards. With a 97% recall rate, you'll leave a lasting impression with your customers. Visit us online at runningboardsmarketing.com so we can drive your message to where the people are.
Go back to school in style with the new our pre-owned vehicle from Corval Toyota in Opelousas. It's an easy process, and vehicles are getting to our lot weekly. Make the decision now or reserve your new Toyota today. Come on down to Corval Toyota in Opelousas. That's Happy Town, USA.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
There's nothing better than tailgating, but it can be a lot of work. So why do it yourself when you don't have to? Let Revelry Sports and Entertainment set up your luxury tailgate on campus. Order what you want and just show up to party. Book your tailgate today at revelryteam.com. Revelry Sports, the official tailgate partner of LSU Athletics.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the Byrd.
I got a text on the show text line from Cecile. Said, Matt, where's the Murray drop? Cecile, we wore out the Murray drop yesterday when the Saints re-signed Latavius Murray.
Murray, present.
You
even hit it a couple times today in the second segment.
Saints injury report came out earlier today. it is still kind of stunning how many people. Like I woke up this morning, and the text line. I tell you all this all the time. The text line is it's an app. It's called Community. I pay for it every month, and it essentially assigns me a number. It's an app on my phone, and you text. It goes directly to my phone. The benefit is that I can then text all of you in one, which is pretty cool. So like if we're like tonight for Scone and Tea, like I'll text the link for Scone and Tea to everybody who's on that line, so you'll all get the link via text at some point. So it kind of allows me to communicate in return. But I woke up this morning and I checked the text line, and the river of texts from people saying, "Hey man, the Saints re-signed Latavius Murray."
Murray,
yes, did you think we were actually going to miss this yesterday? Miss that opportunity. The silly drops, man. Todd Peterson.
Peterson.
Had you on the ropes there, Muse, for a second. Alden Cartwright.
Cartwright?
We have any others? You can always tweet us.
Oh, yeah.
Hey,
Twitter world.
I love that one. Cleveland.
Cleveland, yes.
Cleveland.
The Las Vegas Bowl.
Oh, I don't have that on.
Muse. Look at what time it is. On the
on the money. On the money.
Nose.
I mean, almost. You almost missed it. 3 seconds left.
Is this clock wrong? I'm looking at 4:21:02:3.
That clock's right.
It was not right at the end of the hour, because when I let Taylor go, I thought I had like 5 seconds. I had like 15. I don't. Something's up with that. It's on the fritz. All right, but yeah. So anyway, we did plenty with the Latavius Murray drop.
Murray present
yesterday. So earlier we went through the Saints injury report just very quickly. Let me run through Tampa Bay. Tom Brady did not participate in practice on Wednesday, although it's not injury related. It's pretty clear that the Bucs are giving Tom Brady as much personal time away as he needs. I think it's just very obvious that he is feeling family pressures to not play football anymore, and he wants to continue playing football. And I'm not here to on a personal level, someone who has been so elite at his craft for so long, like literally the greatest at his craft for so long. It's very human. He's dealing with very real human issues that you and I and everybody deal with. Like, we all have families, and things happen in families that affect how you do at work and other things in life. And Tom Brady's clearly going through that. But the Bucs are trying to accommodate him, and why wouldn't you? But Tom Brady did not participate Wednesday. Again, not injury related. Mike Evans was limited. Looks similar to the Saints injury report, which was extensive. Evans, Fournette, both limited, as was wide receiver Brashad Perriman and right tackle Tristan Wirfs, all limited. The players that did not participate is a little more concerning for Tampa. Russell Gage did not participate with a hamstring injury. Chris Godwin did not participate with a hamstring injury. We know Godwin returned from the torn ACL, and then on Sunday Night Football against Dallas, injured his hamstring, and it's likely he's going to miss several weeks. That's the report. So we do not expect Chris Godwin to play this week against the Saints. And then there's Russell Gage not practicing today, which severely limits the weapons that Tom Brady has at his disposal. The other one that is massively significant is left tackle Donovan Smith. If you're watching the game, Donovan Smith at one point was the left tackle, and this was a play where Tom Brady was sacked by Dallas. It was Micah Parsons who sacked him. And coming around left end, and Smith reached his arm out kind of as he was bracing himself, and he got hit on the elbow from behind, and he crumbled. It looked very bad the way he crumbled, but clearly he crumbled because he was getting his arm up and protecting his arm, so he fell very quickly and suddenly. But we've talked so much, y'all, about Tampa and the success that the Saints have had against the Bucs. And a giant part of that success has been their ability to pressure Tom Brady. Now you look at Ryan Jensen, the center, he's likely out for the year. You replace both of your guards this year, and one of your starting guards is now injured, and now your starting left tackle Donovan Smith is out with an elbow injury. We'll see for how long. And then Tristan Wirfs, your starting right tackle, was limited with an abdominal injury. That's a mess. I mean, Brady's O-line is in shambles right now. And his, two of his top targets with Russell Gage and Chris Godwin did not practice, and Mike Evans was limited. So, man, I know I've been banging this drum for a while about this being the year that I think it falls apart for Tampa and for Tom Brady. I think on paper a lot of what Tampa is looks really good. But, I mean, we talked about Julio and Kyle Rudolph being late in their career. Julio looked good the other night. Tom Brady at 45 years old, a revamped offensive line. I think all of that factors in tremendously to why I think Tampa ultimately does slip this year. But we'll keep an eye on the injury report as the week goes along. We're brought to you by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. Bluebonnet in Baton Rouge, Ambassador Caffrey in Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com, theantiagingclinics.com. Back to school specials all this month for teachers. We got lip filler and Botox, wrinkle relaxant, all on great specials this month, at the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. Remember, I tell you every day about hormone replacement therapy. Maybe it's the option for you. Regardless of your age, it's more about how you feel. Biologically, how do you feel? A blood lab will tell you if you are hormonally deficient. We all, at some point, as we age, all of us, every one of us, our body produces less of the hormones that contribute to how we feel. And some of us, that happens more quickly than others. There are accelerants to the aging process. A simple blood test can let you know if you're a candidate for HRT, get you feeling like your younger self again. Sleep better at night. Wake up with more energy. Have energy throughout the day. Build muscle, burn fat, all the things that you could do when you were younger. There's a way to do it again, and hormone replacement therapy could be the solution for you. Learn more online at theantiagingclinics.com. Again, that's theantiagingclinics.com. All right, LSU will take on Mississippi State this weekend in Tiger Stadium. Mike Leach on the SC Coaches Teleconference today was asked about the LSU quarterback Jaden Daniels, who he will see for the first time this week.
The biggest thing is, he's good with his feet. He's a guy that can help himself with his feet, and you don't want him to get loose on you.
Mike Leach, Muse, you cut up press conference audio every week. Mike Leach did not seem like he was in much of a mood to talk this week. Is that a fair assessment?
Yes, Mike Leach was on the SEC Coaches Teleconference today for 5.5 minutes of the 10. That's allotted.
So to be clear, so every coach is allotted a 10-minute window.
Right.
So like Brian Kelly, like Ed Ogeron before him and Les Miles before him, they all start the teleconference at 10 a.m. Central, and they go from 10 to 10:10, right?
Correct.
And then the next quarterback is up, or the next coach is up from 10:10 to 10:20, and so on. So Leach did not even finish his allotted 10 minutes.
No.
The only time I can really recall a quarterback not finishing their I'm looking at Jaden Daniels because we were just talking about Jaden Daniels. The only time I can remember a coach not finishing their allotted time would be like Vanderbilt, right? If it's just Vanderbilt's playing Elon, there's probably not a ton of dudes flocking to the press conference, and ladies, flocking to the press conference to ask questions about
Elon.
Vandy and Elon.
Yeah.
So, what else did Mike Leach say of significance? Or what did he say of significance?
On the teleconference? Yeah. Well, he was asked about his offense, Matt, and if going up against, veteran defense every day in practice helps. He said this.
Well, you do it all through camp, and they're doing some good things. I mean, we got to get better, but we do some good things on defense, and I do think we do a pretty good job running to the ball.
That was it, though.
Muse, where would you rate that among all-time great Mike Leach quotes?
Oh, it's not even on the radar. I ain't even in the same ballpark.
What might be?
Well, I'm glad you asked. So, Matt, back in 2019, when Mike Leach was still the coach at Wazoo, he sent out a tweet just wondering why people don't like cats. So, naturally, in his press conference later that week, Mike Leach was asked about that tweet and people's feelings towards cats.
Somebody said that in passing, one of the I hate cats, somebody really hates cats. And I've never figured that one out. I mean, and a credit to cats, the ability to generate that much animosity, And I'm not sure how close of a relationship some of these people are planning to have with a cat, or why they would value the opinion of a cat or their perceived opinion of a cat. I'm indifferent about cats. But I've never understood how a cat can accelerate that much animosity. I mean, to me, it's just a cat. It's just a squirrel. It's just a dove. It's just a robin. I mean, what do I care,
My favorite line has to be credit to cats for being able to generate that much animosity.
Mike Leach, though, is at a point now where in every press conference he does, when he's asked something like that, he knows he's being baited, but he willingly takes the bait.
Absolutely.
Every time. There was the mascot question, like what mascot could be. You know what I mean?
All the Pac-12 mascots.
Look, in the Mike Leach quote of the day, we may get to, it's up. Muse has autonomy here to do what he wants to do. So he's got 2 more days. Maybe Friday we'll get plenty of him. We'll empty the bag. So do as many as you want on Friday.
I told you before the show I listened to a 10.5-minute answer about how he deferred his student loans. 10.5 minutes at a press conference about football.
And it's not that he was talking for 10.5 minutes about deferring student loans, but that you listened to the full 10.5 minutes.
It was hilarious.
I know. I don't blame you.
You're hooked on it.
I know.
You want to figure out how it ends.
Mike Leach has played against Jaden Daniels. Was coached against Jaden Daniels. They, back in 2019, when he was at Washington State did play Arizona State. That was Jaden Daniels' freshman season. Arizona State won the game 38-34. And Jaden Daniels was 26 of 36 for 363, 3 touchdowns, and no interceptions. So pretty good there for Jaden Daniels. He also ran it 10 times for 23 yards and a rushing touchdown. So Jaden Daniels accounted for 4 touchdowns against Washington State as a true freshman back in 2019 when they played that game in Tempe. So it was a home game for Arizona State. Let's hope he can replicate that performance this weekend. All right, it's after further review. Quick break. We'll do overrated, underrated when we come back. Verge, Ausberry in 28 minutes. Stick around.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by Darren James and Associates, powered by eXp Realty. Every home listed by every company, all in one place. You know where to find them. Agent225.com. Agent225.com. We've been telling you that Darren has a brand new program called Buy One, List One Free. Hire Darren to represent you on the buy side, and he will list your home for free. I got this message from Darren yesterday from an AFR listener who said, buy one, sell one free. Really? Man, you have some amazing ideas. That is genius. Another client for Darren James. It's this easy. Hire Darren to represent you on the purchase side. Again, his commission would come from the seller, and Darren will list your home for free. 335-7666. 335-7666 or agent225.com.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
Order curbside pickup online or with Rouse's Market Shopping app and let Rouse's personal shopper shop for you. Curbside pickup is free and you pay the same price for groceries as in-store. Use code SAINTS20 and save $20 on orders of $100 or more. That's curbside convenience. Shopper style. Oh, yeah!
meet Acura's heroes of performance. Only available at the Acura Summer of Performance.
This summer, visit your local Acura dealer for attractive offers on the MDX.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I'm Jay Ducote. I grew up learning how to cook at LSU tailgate parties and right in my own backyard. And I created JD's Louisiana Products to bring that Louisiana flavor to you at home for your backyard cookout. JD's Louisiana barbecue sauce, Louisiana molasses mustard, spicy and sweet barbecue rub, and more are available at your local supermarkets or by logging on to jducote.com/shop. Put in promo code CST for 25% off at checkout.
Light beer shouldn't taste like water. Miller Lite.
This time, this place, misused, mistakes, too long, too late. Who was I to make you wait?
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the Byrd.
Nickelback, overrated or underrated? I feel like we've done that before.
Way underrated. I don't think we have done that. Way underrated. Nickelback just became cool to hate, so everybody says they hate Nickelback. Their songs are awesome.
Weird. So early Nickelback was awesome. They were pretty heavy. They were more rock. They went mainstream. I don't blame them. People are like, oh, they're sellouts. No, they're not. Like they made a lot of money. Good for them. But this sounds nothing like it. Go listen to Go listen to Leader of Man. Go listen to some of their first stuff. It's really good. Anyway, all right. That's a great way to segue into something we do every weekday or every Wednesday about this time. We call it overrated, underrated. Fire away, Muse.
Overrated or underrated?
I personally think he's criminally underrated.
Overrated or underrated, Matt? Calzones.
So, I love a calzone, but I think a calzone is probably overrated because there isn't really a need for a calzone. You could just eat pizza with a fork and knife. You could dip pizza in marinara sauce. You could basically have the same experience of a calzone with pizza if you really wanted to. Just roll your pizza up or fold it over, and you're kind of having the same experience, aren't you? I love a calzone. Please don't misunderstand. But I just think you could do the same thing with pizza. It's unnecessary. So therefore, I find calzones to be both unnecessary and therefore overrated.
Overrated or underrated? Arena football.
Arena football is properly rated. Arena football is the thing arena football, you know what? I'm going to change my mind. No, I'm not. It's properly rated. Okay. But here's what I'm going to explain. How many upstart professional football leagues have we seen in the last 20 years? There was the UFL. There was the Alliance of American Football or whatever it was. We've seen 3 different iterations of the XFL. The USFL has come back. We've seen a lot of different iterations, and they all failed. The Arena League and the Arena 2 and all that stuff hung around for 20 years. It's incredible. And the reason they were able to is because they did something different. They didn't try to play football. They said, hey, let's play football on a 50-yard field. Let's take kicks off of nets. let's make the field goal this wide.
So cool.
Like, let's let people, like, let's put fans right on the field. It's not have a sideline. You just get knocked over the wall. Like, they just did a completely different version of football. So for that reason and for differentiating, they deserve a tremendous amount of credit. But ultimately, if you are in the entertainment business, you just are as good as the audience says you are. So if you can't fill a 100,000 seat stadium, then you're not good enough to fill a 100,000 seat stadium. It's like the WNBA. I mean, it's no disrespect at all. It's what that is, but you're not going to fill gigantic arenas because the interest level isn't going to be what it is for the NBA. So the same with the AFL, but I give them tremendous credit for finding a point of differentiation that people actually have enjoyed for a long time.
Overrated or underrated? Slip and slide.
Slip and slides are overrated. Slip and slides, similar to your question last week about trampolines, should not exist. It is dangerous. I don't understand the need for thrill seeking. And again, this isn't a like or a dislike. The positives don't outweigh potential negatives with injury and other things that go along with a slip and slide. I'm going to say slip and slide is overrated. They should not exist. And the other part too is, man, unless you got some soap on that thing, like a really good lather, you're not going far. I mean, how many times you go down? You know what we did as kids? We just got a big long roll of Visqueen and put like Dawn on it and like, you know, and sprayed it down. We'd slip and slide down that in the backyard. We used to play a game where, I'll never forget this. We were in our backyard. We put down the Visqueen, you know, the neighborhood kids. You put the Dawn on it. You hose it down so it's slippery. And then you had to like run and catch a ball while you were sliding, right? Someone throws the ball to you, almost like when you'd catch jumping into a pool. And then you'd slide, right, with the ball. You had to hold on to the catch. Well, I missed one, and I remember yelling. I had to be maybe, let's see, I had to be like 12 years old, somewhere 12, let's call it 12 years old. And I pop up and I go, that was an early effing throw. I yelled it, right? We're outside in the backyard. And my parents' like bedroom window was right like where the base was. And the curtains just go, whoosh, Mama Scone right there. Like, get your behind inside right now. This game is over right now. Mama Scone did not take kindly to cursing. Cursing was not allowed in the Scone household, which is so odd because I am a foul-mouthed fella.
Like a sailor.
If you've ever watched Whiskey and Wine or anything, y'all know that's me. People like, I can't believe, it's stunning, like, to watch you do radio or listen to you do radio. The fact that you're able to not curse. I'm like, I know, it's tremendous restraint. This is a long, long way around where we started, which was about slip and slide. So let's go slip and slide overrated.
All right, slip and slide's overrated. Overrated or underrated, Tony Hawk?
Tony Hawk is underrated. I couldn't name another skater. Maybe Shaun White.
Yeah, Shaun White was a skater, yeah.
Skateboards.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah.
Those are the only two in the world in history that I can name. And that go, like, if you took something that is inherently niche and make it mainstream, you are incredible. Tony Hawk. I've no interest in ever watching skating, skateboarding, any of that stuff. But the fact that I and basically all of you know who Tony Hawk is incredible. He is, for that reason, massively underrated as a brand.
Overrated or underrated, books on tape?
Underrated. I think so many people are married to the nostalgia of touching paper, right? And the smell of a book and the feel of a book. But a book on tape allows you to be so much more productive. You can, or an audiobook. Let's call it an audiobook instead of a book on tape. It's 2022 Muse. Come on.
That's fair, yeah.
You're not 87 years old, okay? Let's call it what it is, an audiobook. Same with podcasts. You can listen passively. You can listen in the car. You can listen while you walk or jog or whatever your task you're doing passively, you can listen. And that will make you more productive. So underrated.
That's overrated, underrated.
All right, this is After Further Review. We're brought to you by Michelli Weighing and Measurement, Michelli.com, Michelli.com. You got locations from sea to shining sea. It's Michelli Weighing and Measurement. ISO 17025 accreditation is available. So here's what I always encourage you to do. Start at the website. Go to Michelli.com. If you're looking for work, Michelli's looking for you, by the way. in a lot of different positions in a lot of different locations. The New Orleans location, the Baton Rouge location, the Lake Charles location. At Michelli, they're all about making you more productive. They will service your scale and measurement equipment, all different makes and models. Even if you have equipment that has to be calibrated or serviced on site, they will come to you. It's Michelli Weighing and Measurement. Full list of their services or the industries that they service, go to Michelli.com, Michelli, Michelli.com, Michelli.com, celebrating 75 years. Michelli Weighing and Measurement, Michelli.com. All right, y'all, it is After Further Review. We're glad to have you hanging out with us here. Verge, Ausberry in 15 minutes from right now. We'll talk some future LSU football scheduling, as we did learn today that LSU's future schedule against Oklahoma, the non-conference schedule, that is canceled. LSU is seeking other opponents. What does this conference realignment, adding Texas and Oklahoma, and not knowing specifically when they're coming into the league, how challenging does that make future football scheduling? We'll talk about that with Verge 15 minutes from right now. Quick break. Muso has Tigers and the Pros to wrap up hour number 2, presented by Pluckers. Next.
AFR.
Oh, it is fall. The majesty of a fall morning when you walk outside and the temperatures are in the 60s. Oh, it's like taking a cool towel and putting it on your face after a workout. That's what fall feels like when it finally comes. And when you walk into Clegg's nursery right now, it is fall. Pumpkins, hay bales, squash, gourds, scarecrows, all of your fall decor, they've got it. You're ready to decorate the patio, the front porch, the back patio, inside your home, decorate for that fall party, Halloween parties. You can do it, and Clegg's can help. You want to plant your fall vegetable garden? Clegg's can help. Johnny Naylor seeds? Clegg's has them. Anything you'd find at a True Value hardware store, you'll also find at Clegg's. And for all you hunters, Buckbusters, Mobucks, Deer, Corn, Rice Bran, they got it all at one place. At Clegg's Nursery.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
There it is, the extra mile. On the border of expected and extraordinary. For those willing to go further. Like vans customized for work or play. With safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
It's no secret, the best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Le posso offrire un caffè? Le posso offrire un caffè? Andiamo insieme da me, non c'è.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the Byrd.
We were able to connect with Paul Byrd, newly elected Louisiana Sports Hall of Famer, former LSU pitcher, of course, a former big league all-star. Paul Byrd will be with us in about 25 minutes. Apologies, we just had some issues with the timing there. So Verge in about 10 minutes, talk scheduling. Paul Byrd coming up in about 25 minutes. But right now, Muso has Tigers in the Pros.
Tigers in the Pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now. Presented by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, where Baton Rouge gets engaged.
Well, really no surprise here, but Cade York was named the AFC Special Teams Player of the Week.
Hey!
Matt, in your debut, when you go 4 of 4 from field goal, 2 of 2 from extra point, and kick a game-winning 58-yarder, scoring 14 of your team's 26 points, that type of thing tends to happen.
Is that why you use a fourth-round pick on a kicker when he's a total baller?
That's why.
Got it.
Actually, yes, that is the correct answer.
Got it.
I would like to say that Justin Jefferson got shafted on Offensive Player of the Week in the NFC. Saquon Barkley, great game. Great game. Justin Jefferson, better game.
Yes.
184 yards,
Yes.
2 touchdowns. He got shafted.
And they beat the Packers.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the Giants beat the Titans.
I get it.
Who aren't good. No, it's fine. They're not good. You know why? Because they lost to the Giants.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. Anyway, moving
Transitive
on.
property lives within you.
Yeah.
Okay.
More NFL injury reports to get to. Leonard Fournette on the Bucs injury report was limited in practice today with a hamstring. Russell Gage on the Bucs. What, I'm sorry?
He's got a hamstring.
He's got a hamstring, yeah. Hamstring. Maybe not a serious one, though.
But he's got one.
But he's got one. Russell Gage also has a hamstring. He's a bit more serious, Matt. He did not practice today for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And then for the Washington Commanders, Trey Turner was limited for Wednesday's practice. He has a quad.
Oh, he's got a quad?
He's got a quad.
That's interesting. How do you have one quad when a quad is, by definition, 4?
Man, that's deep. I mean,
think about it.
Philosophical.
Not just a hat rack, my
philosophical scone right there for you. A couple Major League Baseball to get to for you here. Alex Bregman for the Houston Astros last night was 1 for 5. It was a single. He did score a run. He did drive in a run as well. So Breggs stays hot. Alex Lang actually pitched in that same game as the Tigers were facing the Astros. Nice relief outing for Lang. 2/3 of an inning. It was a perfect 2/3 of an inning with 2 strikeouts, 11 pitches, 6 strikes. A pretty nice day at the office when you roll in there and strike out the only 2 batters you face.
Langa.
ERA back under 4 for Lang at 3.98.
Good year for the Langer.
Really good year. Really good. A lot to build off of for next year, too.
And?
No, that's it. That's Tigers in the Pros. I mean, he played. Okay. All right. Josh Smith last night for the Texas Rangers. He wore the collar, 0 for 4. But another great defensive play.
Played shortstop.
Yeah.
Ranging to his left. Boom! Web gem! Cali High! Come on! My guy is at web gems at short, third, and left field. Put him anywhere, and he's flashing the leather. He makes your team better. I am sick that the Yankees traded Josh Smith in the Joey Gallo deal. I am sick.
Oh, no, Joey Gallo plays for the Dodgers, Matt.
That's why I'm sick.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Yeah, but he struck out all the time. It's fine. Joey Gallo, that is.
That's the point.
Okay.
They got rid of a really good prospect who gave me the perfect trifecta of Calico, LSU, Yankees. And they got rid of him for Joey Gallo. And Gallo sucked, and now Gallo's a Dodger.
He's doing pretty good with the Dodgers, too.
I know! Like Giambi. He's a head case with the Yankees. He just couldn't get out of his own way. He was great in Oakland when he could have his awful mustache and expose his tats and all that sort of stuff. And then they, brought him into Yankee Stadium. He cut his hair, shaved his face, and he stunk.
He was okay.
He stunk.
That's Tigers in the Press.
Presented by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, lmfj.com, lmfj.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Locations 9 in all, 2 in the greater Baton Rouge area, corporate in Bocage, and inside of the Mall of Louisiana. It is Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, where you will get a beautiful diamond that will thrill her, and you will always, always, always get the Lee Michaels experience. Gents, we don't shop for diamonds all the time. Trust Lee Michaels. lmfj.com, lmfj.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. All right, if you missed anything, AFR On Demand is presented by Brett Golf. We appreciate you for being there. If you're watching on YouTube, do us a favor, smash that like button. When we come back, Verge, Ausberry talking future LSU football scheduling. Don't you move.
AFR.
Take 60 seconds and remind you about GMFS Mortgage, because at GMFS Mortgage, they are changing lives. And when I say changing lives, I mean changing lives financially. Home buy, refi, construction loans, they do it all. And at GMFS Mortgage, they say, we want to be your lender for life. And they mean it. That's why they have so many loan products to help you no matter where you are in life. If it's buying your first home, GMFS Mortgage can help. If you're buying a second home, GMFS Mortgage can help. Maybe you want to do a refi your mortgage, or a cash out refinance. You could take some of your home's equity, take that money, that cash out of your home's equity to do that home improvement project that you maybe were putting off. If it's maybe an outdoor kitchen, if it's an extension or expansion of your home or a remodel, GMFS Mortgage can help. Get in touch with a local loan officer that can help you today at gmfsmortgage.com. Voted the #1 best place to work in all of Baton Rouge. It's GMFS Mortgage. gmfsmortgage.com, changing lives.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $12,000 off MSRP on all new 2022 Ram Black Widow trucks in stock. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty and free delivery. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou is going to do right by you.
I've got that blue sky, I've got that sunshine.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big D and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. NBA Commissioner Adam Silver today addressed the one-year suspension and $10 million fine handed to Suns owner Robert Sarver for his conduct that violated workplace standards. Said Sarver likely was spared even stronger sanctions because the law firm investigating the situation determined his use of slurs was not motivated by racial or gender-based animus. He also said he didn't have the right to take away Sarver's team. This matter, though, is not over for the NBA, believes ESPN NBA analyst Kendrick Perkins.
Now players are going to come out and they're going to hold the NBA and Adam Silver feet to the fire because, again, as I talked about yesterday, if you're a player, if you're anybody that work in that organization, how can you come to work knowing that this man, Robert Sarver, is the owner of the Phoenix Suns, knowing the way that he feels?
The Cowboys are very optimistic after quarterback Dak Prescott's thumb surgery. According to Coach Mike McCarthy, the next hurdle for Prescott is healing over the next 7 to 10 days. Injured Chargers receiver Keenan Allen out tomorrow night against the Chiefs with a hamstring injury.
Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
That's right.
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us, AFR. Presented by Pluckers. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
Musso. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. 5 o'clock quitting time. Glad you are driving home with us. Thanks for being here. Newly elected Louisiana Sports Hall of Famer Paul Byrd in about 15 minutes from right now. But right now, we got some news from the league office that Georgia and Tennessee, their future home-and-home schedules with Oklahoma have been disrupted, obviously, with Oklahoma coming into the conference. So what does that mean for LSU's future home-and-home with Oklahoma that's scheduled for 2027 and 2028? Here to talk about that is LSU Executive Deputy Athletic Director Verge Ausberry. Joins us now. Verge, we appreciate it. How are you?
Doing great, Matt. How you doing today?
Doing really well. Let's just start with sort of an obvious one. So with Oklahoma coming into the league, what does this do for LSU's future home-and-home in 2027 and 2028?
You know, Matt, when this decision was made to let Oklahoma and Texas come to the SEC, we were prepared for it. And we started working ahead with some of our networks, ESPN, some other people and other schools, trying to find a replacement. Because we figured it out that, you know, if they're going to be in the conference and still say in 2025, then that we have them in a home and home. That game would not take place. Also, you know, we were aware we was playing Texas, planning on bringing them back, but the COVID years happened. It was planning on bringing them back sometimes in the future, and that probably disappeared also.
Could, just I guess as a point of clarification, because I don't know if this is an SEC rule, could you play a conference opponent in a non-conference game like they do in baseball? Meaning, could you keep Oklahoma on the schedule and just have it as a non-conference game even though they're in the same conference?
No, that won't happen, and they had notified us about that before, and we were prepared for it. And the good thing about it, we have a few more years than Georgia and Tennessee has. So that was 27 and 28. It's time, with all the realignment taking place, there are going to be a lot of changes and a lot of schedules for a lot of Power 5 conferences. So it worked out pretty well for us. And I think we have 2 opponents that we're working with right now to fill in those spots and to have some good football games.
We'll look ahead in just a second, but you also mentioned the Texas return game. We all know what happened. Played there in 2019. They were supposed to come here. COVID hit in 20, and the game didn't happen. So how close were you all in discussions to a return game?
We were talking to Texas, Chris Del Conte, their athletic director, about getting that game back on the schedule. And to be honest with you, Matt, is going to be way out. Probably the way they play Oklahoma and that neutral site game that's set up, and that's going to change also how that game is played. We were looking way into the 2030s. When you look at the football schedule where I'm at right now, we're all the way out to 2032, and that's Utah State. You have Arizona State after that one, a home and home. All those games are Utah home and home games that we had set up already. And Oklahoma game was the only game that we had there that was set as a home and home. We knew with the realignment this was going to take place. So with Texas and Oklahoma, we don't know how that's going to be. One thing I talked to you about earlier, depending on how many games we're going to have, 8 or 9, whenever the SEC schedule comes out, that's going to determine a lot about how we go with future scheduling. And we're just kind of in a whole pattern right now. We have the Power 5 opponents. But before we start scheduling other teams, we need to figure out that before you go ahead and schedule. And then you realize that you might only have 6 home games other than 7, which we have to have at LSU.
So in 2025, so this is a good point. So in 2025, Texas and Oklahoma will be in the league.
Correct.
You have a conference game already, a non-conference game, already at Clemson. So
yeah.
How does this affect, I guess, the format, Verge, which maybe you don't have much control over, but for example, if it's a 9-game schedule, there's going to be years where you play 5 road and 4 home. Well,
correct.
If that's a year where you're on the road, say against Clemson in 2025, you're kind of at a disadvantage. So can you lobby the league to have?
Yes, correct. That's the correct word to use. I think they're going to look at our schedules where we are. You just let them know, look, we need to have the 7 home games. And you're correct. You have the 5, games on the road. If you go to 9, I'm not saying if. The big if, you can stay at 8. But if you go to 9, then that could change you and flip a schedule where you're preparing to have 7 home games and now you're down to 6. So those are the things that we all got to work through. And I think there'll be a lot of discussions taking place here in our meetings in the future about how we figure out the scheduling going forward.
Verge, is there a possibility still, and forgive me, just I know there's a lot of meetings going on and all the deals with TV partners, is there still a possibility of Texas and Oklahoma joining the SEC in 2024?
They're not discussing that with us at this time. Right now, the commissioner says 2025. But
okay.
Never say never, Matt. That hadn't come down to us yet.
Yeah, and the reason I asked, Verge, is you know this, but for the benefit of the audience, 2024, you've got 4 non-conference games. So you've got SC, Rice, UCLA, the return trip, and South Alabama. Theoretically, you might have to drop
too many games.
Yeah, you have too many games. So what do you do?
That's the thing we did, and we've been talking to some people about moving some things if that was to happen. We don't think it's going to happen, but we have had conversations with people. Now, in the future, you're right. There's a lot of times we have gone out and scheduled other games, especially with FBS schools that's not in the Power 5, and how you get out of those contracts. And we worked some things with our general counsel's office on campus, wording we put in contracts. You change the word in all the contracts, epidemic, pandemics, and now all of a sudden scheduling conflicts, especially by the conference. Because you don't get caught out there with too many games, and you get to buy somebody out for $1.5 to $1.7 million. Those are things that we're putting in contracts. So if we go to 9 games, there might be an adjustment. But right now, we're kind of in a whole pattern, Matt. We're not going out there and just scheduling games or schedule games, which you don't know what's going to happen until pretty much probably next year.
Yeah,
clear picture on this.
You are juggling a lot of balls in the air trying to figure out how this thing is going to work out, especially with the unknown of a conference schedule. How many games is? It's pretty important to know how many you need to schedule. So
that's right.
Is something else? And just for the record, let's assume that the league does go to 9 conference games.
Mm-hmm.
Is there still? Will it still be a mandate from the league, or do you still plan to schedule a Power 5 non-conference, which would be 10 Power 5 games?
Our plan is, we're talking to Scott and I talking together. We plan on doing that. We want to keep, look, those big games mean a lot, and I think you have to have them. I think everybody in the conference probably, the big schools are going to keep that Power 5 opponent. I want to play Clemson. I want to play USC, UCLA. We want to play Arizona State. We want to play Utah. Whoever, put on the schedule, we want to play the other Power 5 opponent. I think it's a great game for our fans. I think it's a great plan for LSU. And I think we have to play, those big premium schools. We're about the only conference that doesn't have a 9-game conference schedule right now. And I think that's important that we keep the Power 5 opponent from another conference on our schedule.
Verge Ausberry is with us for a couple of minutes talking future football scheduling. The next 2 years, you'll have neutral site games. You'll be in Orlando and then in Las Vegas to take on USC. As you mentioned, you're scheduled up through 2032. It's just hard to look more than a decade out, obviously. But are you in discussions about neutral sites, or is the focus shifted to home and home?
I think everything's on the table. And, you talk about that 2024 schedule. We have a big home. UCLA is coming back to Baton Rouge, right. And we have USC in that year. So I think you look at combinations. You look at what you could get on the schedule. What Oklahoma doing, even what they did, when they did, we're still behind. That's in 27 and 28. You usually want to have about a 6-year window of Power 5 opponent schedule. So when we saw this coming, we knew it to start making changes. So, I can't promise it's going to be a neutral site or home and home, but bottom line, we're just trying to get the right opponent at the right place and just get the games in place so we can have 2 Power 5 opponents when that schedule changes.
Is there still a plan to try to get a Louisiana school on the schedule each year? See, it's, just kind of look at ahead. Grambling next year, no Louisiana school in 24, but then Louisiana Tech in 25. After that, is there still an intention of getting the Louisiana schools on the schedule?
Yes, Matt. The way the schedule works right now, like you said, if we go to 8 or go to 9, we definitely have that Power 5 opponent on there, but we definitely want a Louisiana school. We want to keep the money and stay Louisiana. We think it's important. We're that flagship institution. I think it's great that every young man who plays football in Louisiana has the opportunity to play a game in Tiger Stadium. We think that's very, very important. So we're going to do that, and we might be making some moves in 2024 and get a Louisiana opponent in there also. But that's something that we want to do, that we started doing. And if the scheduling stay the same way and all the schools keep scheduling the same way, that's something we want to do.
You mentioned 24, so that would mean either Rice or South Alabama, their spot would be moved as I'm looking at it. Is there a time frame where you're looking at some type of announcement there or finality?
I think that's going to be in the next 6 months here. We're doing some conversation. We started conversation with some people already about moving some things around and how we do it. And I think about 6 months we'll have an answer for those schedules.
Hey, man, Les never wanted to play Michigan, right? I mean, that was always Les's thing. You calling South Bend? Look, because not only Brian Kelly, but, man, there's an Ausberry up there. Going to be.
Yeah. We talk to everybody. Matt, the one thing about us, we never ran playing anybody. And in Michigan, my good friend Ward Manuel, who's a New Orleans guy, played at the University of Michigan, Brother Martin guy.
Yeah.
In fact, we've spoken about doing some things in the future and just how their schedule falls and how it falls with Notre Dame on the schedule. But, we're looking at everybody and trying to get those marquee quality games. Like I said, some going to be neutral sites, some going to be home and home. Sometimes you might have both. And we've had great years by having both at times. And the better opponents you play, the better your team's going to play. I know somebody asked me the other day about the 0 week, and that's just something that we're not going to do at LSU. And I don't think it made a difference in our game in Florida State one way or the other. We had an opportunity to win the game, and those things happen. But we're not going to do that. We're going to maintain the scheduling format we have. If we go to 8 games, stay at 8, that's fine. We go to 9, go to 9. We're going to continue to keep that Power 5 opponent on that schedule.
Verge, by the one point of clarification on week 0. Don't you have to file a waiver to play a week 0? What goes into that if you were going to do that? Which obviously you're not, but yeah.
If the team is playing Hawaii or you playing Hawaii, that's how it happens. It gives you that week 0 because of the travel schedule. It gives you that week 0 game. That's something that we're not interested in doing, and we want to stay with our normal traditional schedules that we have.
Okay, so that's just for the SEC. So like Vanderbilt going to Hawaii, not like. It's like Florida State played Duquesne, so that's a conference deal.
But Duquesne is going to Hawaii. I feel that's it. The opponent you're playing going to Hawaii, you can have that week 0. You say,
okay.
Yeah. So Duquesne, that's how that came about. If they're going to Hawaii, they're playing Hawaii, then you get that week 0. No matter what Power 5 conference you're in, to get the week 0 game.
Okay.
So you're going overseas. So you play like Nebraska, Northwestern. If you're playing in Ireland, you get that week 0.
Right. And it's so weird, too, because Nebraska they played in Ireland and then played the next week. It was so strange that they didn't take that week off after playing that game. But who am I to make their schedule for them? Verge Ausberry, Executive Director of External Relations and Executive AD there out at LSU. Verge, we appreciate the time and the info, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Matt.
All right, be well. It's after further review. Some good info there. I know a lot of people disagree with Verge on the week 0. We can have some comments on that. I need a break because Paul Byrd is going to join us in the next segment. So let me break, talk to Paul Byrd. I'll come back at the bottom of the hour. I do want to revisit that because a lot of you have commented on that. I want to get to that. So stay here. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by Rouse's, official supermarket of LSU athletics. Excuse me. No, scrub that, please. Official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. My apologies. Old habits die hard. The official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Rouse's. The official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Rouse's.com. Download the Rouse's app. A delivery, pickup available at Rouse's. Download the app, select your items. Your personal shopper will go pick out your items for you, and then when you pull up, they'll bring it out to your car. Saves you money, saves you time. That's what they do at Rouse's. Got a home game this weekend. You're going to be tailgating. For Saints or Tigers, going to be tailgating. If you're going to be maybe having a game watch party Saturday or Sunday, let Rouse's help. All of your tailgate items, party trays, all of your cold beer if you need it, all of your full adult beverage section, and everything that you need to keep your guests or your people at your tailgate happy. It's at Rouse's. Official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints, Rouse's.com.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Bayou Ford has $15,000 off MSRP on a new 2021 Ford F-150. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million-mile powertrain warranty and free delivery. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
This summer, meet Acura's heroes of performance. Only available at the Acura Summer of Performance.
This summer, visit your local Acura dealer for attractive offers on the MDX.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I'm Jay Ducote. I grew up learning how to cook at LSU tailgate parties and right in my own backyard. And I created JD's Louisiana Products to bring that Louisiana flavor to you at home for your backyard cookout. JD's Louisiana Barbecue Sauce, Louisiana Molasses Mustard, Spicy and Sweet Barbecue Rub, and more are available at your local supermarkets or by logging on to jducote.com/shop. Put in promo code CST for 25% off at checkout.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the Byrd.
I'm glad you're hanging out with us here on Hump Day edition of AFR presented by Pluckers. Remember, trivia tonight and every Wednesday at Pluckers, both locations. Nicholson at 8 o'clock, Bluebonnet at 7:30. Get on by and test your knowledge. Earlier today, we found out the 2023 induction class for the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame. And among the members, some familiar names. Former LSU coach Paul Maneri, Eli Manning, Ron Washington, two-time ALCS champion, Matt Forte, former LSU Tiger Wendell Davis, and our next guest, the great Paul Byrd, part of Skip Bertman's first national championship team back in 1991 before going on to a 14-year Major League career. Works now for the Atlanta Braves on their broadcast, their TV broadcast, and is good enough to join us for a couple of minutes. Paul, we appreciate it, man. Congrats. How are you?
Matt, thank you so much. Quite an introduction. I am doing very well. I've had a great day. I was shocked. I was overwhelmed. Told my wife 3 or 4 times just to remind her. It's been a big deal to me. It just means a lot. So, yeah.
When did you find out today, or did you find out earlier and you just had to keep it under wraps till today?
Well, I had to keep it under wraps, but I haven't known very long. Just a couple days, and they say keep it quiet. And my good friend Ronnie Rance gave me the news, and man, that was, one of my teammates at LSU was actually my roommate when I was a junior. He was a freshman, and it just meant the world to me, And I was blown away. It hit me. I knew I was up for it. I just never honestly put myself in that category, of a Hall of Famer. I was told I wouldn't play major D1 baseball. Don't go to LSU. Pick a small school in Kentucky because those guys were big and, they threw hard. And when I showed up, they did. It was Russell Springer, Ben McDonald throwing 100 miles an hour on the corners with a hammer. And, I run out there and just trying to hit the corners. And, I could touch 90, 91, but I just didn't put myself in a category of ever being a Hall of Famer. Even my career in the big league was a struggle. It wasn't easy. It was always trying to recreate myself or figure things out. So to hear that I'm in a Hall of Fame anywhere, let alone a huge, wonderful, sports-filled state of Louisiana, just meant so much to me.
A 14-year big league struggle, right, Paul? I respect how hard.
Well, if you follow my career and you count the teams, it'll all come together for you.
I understand. To whatever degree I can understand. Paul Byrd is with us. I'm curious also, you kind of mentioned there being from Kentucky, which I think a lot of people know. But Paul, it's been 30 years, obviously, since the 91 team. And so there are a lot of younger listeners who maybe didn't watch that team or aren't familiar with that team. But for a guy from Kentucky and now to have made your name here the way you did, still top 5 in a lot of different categories at LSU, still the single season, if I'm not mistaken, still the single season wins record with 17. I think Peaver was the only undefeated season, if I'm not mistaken. But what does it mean? What has Louisiana continued to mean to you?
Oh, my gosh. My wife is from Metairie, so we lived in New Orleans for a few years. Her grandfather fought in World War II and is at the D-Day Museum. He is a staple in Louisiana. We miss him every day. Coach Bertman meant so much to me. He yelled at me. He was so tough on me. I didn't think he liked me. I wanted to transfer at one time. And when I go back, he gives me a hug and I say thank you. And I realized that he really liked me. He was just pushing me to make me better. And so I carry a lot of life lessons that I learned from him into my life. I mentioned I met my wife at LSU. I found my faith at LSU. Wayne Waddell was our team chaplain, meant a lot to me. It wasn't just what happened on the field. It was off the field. Learning how to tailgate, pull across a crawfish, I'd never had a shrimp coming from Kentucky till I went to LSU. I learned how to just enjoy sports. And I'm like, oh my gosh, these people are crazy here over their football. I love LSU football. I'll never get that out of my system. There's so many things I could say about Baton Rouge and I've traveled all over the country. We talked about, a number of different teams I played for, but there's certain places that when you go, one of them is Louisville, Kentucky. The other is Baton Rouge and even New Orleans. When I go back, it doesn't matter how long I've been gone. When I come back, I feel like I'm home. There's something in the air. There's something in the food. There's something in the people. And it's, I'll never get Louisiana out of my system.
Well, they'll never get rid of you either now. I mean, you will be enshrined, obviously, in the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame, which is phenomenal. Hey, you mentioned, obviously, Skip. How often are you reminded of, or is the Hold the Rope documentary brought up to you?
A lot.
Yeah, I'd imagine. The Skip impersonation was perfect. As good as Ronnie's is, yours is better. Don't tell him I said that.
Well, I appreciate that. Everybody goes, did he really say messed up because he should have never recruited you? All that stuff. Everybody asks questions like that, and then they died over the whole Texas A&M thing, which for me was one of the greatest sports accomplishments of my life, taking down Texas A&M and going to the College World Series with LSU across New Jersey, and then finally winning it. And, so when I talk to Louis Garcia, Ronnie Rance, others, it doesn't matter how much time has passed. The friendships are so strong, and we're right back to where we were. We're super connected.
As much as we talk about, I'm glad you brought that up, because as much as we talk about Skip winning 5 and 10 years and, obviously his unmatched legacy, he lost in Omaha his first 4 trips, didn't win it till his 5th time. And so you were on the team that finally broke through and got over the hump in 91. What was different, Paul? What was different for that team to finally break through?
Well, Coach Burtman even will tell you the better team was 89, which was my freshman year. We had Ben McDonald, we had Springer, we had Leskanik, who he won 15 games and had a nice major league career. But we had, I believe, 7 pitchers, including John O'Donohue, who works with the SWAT teams in Denham Springs right now. Every one of those guys pitched in the big leagues. That's insane. Yeah. And we had a couple position players play in the big leagues. And he'll tell you, to this day, that's what I like about Skip. He's like, I messed it up. He's like, I blew it. And, in 91, we didn't have that kind of insane talent. We had, some other young good guys like Rick Green, closer, Armando Rios. Female had a great series, Lyle Mouton. But we were hungry. We were fed up. When we walked into Rosenblatt Stadium, this is no exaggeration, not for sake of story. They were painting. The guys were on ladders painting on, the stadium, and they started laughing at us. Like, here we are, one of the final 8, walking into that College World Series, and painters are laughing at us, and they're like, hey, guys, 8 times a charm, right? And you want to talk about being angry. And Skip will even, as we talked about, and you heard on the Hold the Rope document, guys weren't really worried about jumping in the pool or having a good time. We were on a mission. And we blew every team out of the water, with all respect to the great teams that were in that series. We were just hot. We were at the right time. We were hungry. We were on a mission. And I think that's why we won it.
It was so much fun. And it's a big part of, obviously, your baseball legacy, but just a part of why Paul Byrd's now been elected to the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame. Hey, which the nicer ring, the 91 LSU ring or the 21 Braves ring?
That is pretty phenomenal. That's a great question. Let's just say this. I'm never going to get locked out of my house with that 21 Braves ring, ever. It's huge. I can't even wear it because I may, knock some bling out of it. But the 91 ring is super special on my own because I threw some pitches in that one. And I just talked about the players who did throw the pitches and made that ring happen on my finger in 2001. Again, a great honor to be part of the Braves and be able to broadcast and have them even include us. That was first class. The 91 ring is special for a different reason.
Yeah. It certainly does illustrate how far championship rings have come in 30 years. I think that's for sure, but that's a great point as well, the sentiment behind both. Paul Byrd is part of the Valley Sports South broadcast for the Atlanta Braves, and now he's a Louisiana Sports Hall of Famer. Paul, our congratulations to you, man. It's always fun when we get to watch the LSU guy on on TV, right? I mean, Paul, our video producer here, is a gigantic Braves fan. Like, he wears a Braves hoodie in studio every single day. So, I mean, you have that. He's literally holding it up right now. You've got that synergy back here as well, man. But we're excited for you, and we send our congratulations, man.
That is fantastic. I love it. We got some Braves fans everywhere. We need some LSU fans up here in Atlanta. So you guys come up to a game, we'll have you sitting close behind home plate.
We'd love to do it, Paul. Congrats, man. We'll look for you this summer at the induction, okay?
Thanks, guys. See ya.
Be well. That is Paul Byrd, Louisiana Sports Hall of Famer, Paul Byrd. The induction is set for late July. It is the 29th. July 29th is when the induction ceremony will take place. So you can get tickets at lasportshall.com. The public can buy tickets to it. It is a first-class event, and I'm not saying this just because Paul was just on or anything. Like, I've had the opportunity a couple times to go up to the event and be part of the television broadcast for CST when Cox Sports Television was broadcasting. And it is a first-class event, and the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame Museum is a place that if you're a sports fan in the state, you should visit. They did a spectacular job with the exhibits and honoring all of the Hall of Famers. It's the event itself is first class. But even if you can't make it to that event, you should make time to get up to Natchitoches, even if you're passing through, to stop at the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame. The museum really is fantastic. Okay, it is After Further Review. We're brought to you by the Williamson Eye Center. 924-2020, 924-2020, or WilliamsonEye.com. That's where you can find, I always tell you, eye care, eyewear, eye surgery. If you want that eye exam for the whole family, Williamson Eye Center can help. 7 locations across the greater Baton Rouge area. In Baton Rouge, they've also got Gonzales and New Roads and Zachary and Denham, and now in the river parishes in Lutcher, it's the Williamson Eye Center. They can help you with your glasses or your contacts if you do wear them, or if you want to ditch them forever. A refractive procedure could be your solution to help you see 20/20 without contacts or glasses. Just call 924-2020. One of the best decisions I ever made. 4 years ago, Sunday made 4 years. Dr. Blake Williamson did my LASIK, and here I am 4 years later still seeing better than 20/20. So call 924-2020 or WilliamsonEye.com for the Williamson Eye Center. All right, y'all, it's After Further Review. We will knock out a quick break, come back. It is Pluckers Trivia Night. So it's some trivia music. I feel like there's something else we're supposed to do that when we got mixed up there with Paul Byrd's schedule that I forgot. Was there something? Oh, we were going to come back to the scheduling thing, the week 0 scheduling thing. Let me make a note so I don't forget. All right, so we'll come back and talk a little bit about that. If you missed Verge Ausberry at the beginning of this hour, we talked about why LSU will never schedule on week 0. So we'll get some thoughts on that. We'll do a little trivia to have some fun as we cruise through here on a Hump Day edition of AFR. Don't you move. Stick around.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by Insurance Network of Louisiana. My guy, Jay, over at Insurance Network of Louisiana, just a bit ago sent me this. He said, Matt, I wrote home and auto coverage for your guy, Jay Ducote. How about it? Jay Ducote from Talk 107.3 FM, fan of the show. Called Insurance Network of Louisiana's. He was with Allstate for several years, but they were able to save him about $1,000 annually for the same coverage. Again, same coverage, saved $1,000 annually. Insurance Network of Louisiana. They did it for me, did it for Jay Ducote. They've done it for thousands of Louisiana residents. They can help you as well. 293-0450. Call them right now. 293-0450. Let Insurance Network of Louisiana shop for free to find you better coverage for less money. 293-0450.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $12,000 off MSRP on all new 2022 Ram Black Widow trucks in stock. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty and free delivery. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou is going to do right by you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
I am Juliette, daughter of Marguerite, granddaughter of Gabriel Piera. I come from a line of strong women who knew struggle and success too. Still, I was scared by my breast cancer diagnosis. But I had Blue Cross coverage, which meant I got care from top doctors. I'm strong like my mother, and her mother before her. The right card, the right care.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
It's no secret, the best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big D and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.
I can't find it now in the text line. Oh, here it was. It was from a guy named John. He said it would be nice if Verge didn't allow opponents to play week 0. Well, you certainly can't control that. Said he's wrong on week 0. It's a factor in the loss. So I've thought a lot about that. We talked a lot about week 0. If you missed it, Verge Ausberry was with us at the top of this hour and talked about the future LSU football scheduling, in particular because today the league announced that Georgia and Tennessee, who had future home and homes with Oklahoma, have been told you have to cancel the second game of that series because it would infringe upon Oklahoma's time in as an SEC member. So LSU's future scheduling against Oklahoma is now open. So we went through a lot of what the domino effect is of all that, because once you move one piece, there is a trickle-down effect that affects everything else on the board. So we talked about that with Verge. And the point about week 0, which baffles me a little, doesn't baffle me. I guess let me just say that there's a counterpoint, okay? And it's that, yes, the last 2 years, LSU has lost a week 1 game against a Power 5 opponent when the Power 5 opponent played a week 0. Fact. But when LSU started this whole marquee opener thing, they didn't play no week 0, and they won every damn one of them. 2007, they won at Mississippi State, conference game to open the season on the road. 2008, they played Appalachian State, but remember, it was billed as a battle of the reigning national championships. 2009, they went up to Washington and won. 2010, they opened in Atlanta against North Carolina and won. 2011, they opened up in Arlington against Oregon, top 5 matchup, and won. 2012, they opened up against, was 12 TCU or was 13 TCU? 13 was TCU in Arlington, and they won. 2014, they opened up in Houston against Wisconsin and won. Y'all, my point is, when they've opened up, they've had a ton of these marquee openers. They won all of them until 2016. They lost at Wisconsin, or they lost at Lambeau against Wisconsin. 2018, they opened up in Arlington against Miami and won. I mean, you've lost your opener the last 3 years, and it coincides with the crumbling of Ed Ogeron's tenure in the first year of Brian Kelly, where he remade the entire program. You turned over half your roster. You turned over 9 full-time coaches, like 40 staff members. Would it have helped this team? Sure. Could I give you an example of 10 other teams where it didn't make a lick of difference because LSU was better and won the game? Did a week 0 game matter for Georgia this year against Oregon? No, because they're Georgia. The point is, ascend to the level that you should be, and week 0 don't matter. Go play your opponent on week 1 and go win the game. Did it matter this year? Probably. Yeah, probably. Will it matter next year when LSU's in Orlando against Florida State? Shouldn't. 2024, year 3 of Brian Kelly, when they got this thing humming and they go play USC out in Vegas, should it matter? Nope. Shouldn't. And those teams are likely to be in the same boat. So quit making excuses. Your program's not very good right now. Let me rephrase. Your program's not elite right now. We've been over this. Acknowledge what you are today, but remember what you were, because you're going to be that again, and you're not going to be worrying about a week 0 game. That's my point. All right, it's After Further Review. We're brought to you by DraftKings, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. DraftKings, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use the promo code Baton Rouge. Tell you every day. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use the promo code Baton Rouge. Bet just $5 if you're a new customer. Bet just $5 on any football game, and they'll give you $200 in free bets instantly. What? Yup. They're getting you going to the start of the season. Football's here, y'all. Your football weekend's about to start, coming up tomorrow on Thursday. Come on, y'all. We got Thursday Night Football again tomorrow. Download that DraftKings Sportsbook app and have some fun. Otter's been riding the heater right now, betting NFL. You can get in with all the fun on the DraftKings Sportsbook app. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use the promo code Baton Rouge. New customers, bet just $5 on any football game. They'll give you $200 in free bets instantly, regardless if you win or lose. That's at the DraftKings Sportsbook. 21 and older, physically present in Louisiana. Select parishes only. Bonus issued as free bets. 1 early win token issued at opt-in. Moneyline bets only. Deposit and wagering restrictions apply. Eligibility and terms at DraftKings.com/football. Terms. Licensing partner Golden Nugget Lake Charles. Gambling problem. Call 1-877-7-0-STOP. Okay, we're going to get to the Otter in just a second. Of course, Wednesday means trivia night over at Pluckers. Muse, hit it if you would. Thank you. Okay. They'll have themed trivia nights from time to time. Sometimes just general trivia. That's tonight.
Darn.
Well, last week was Jeopardy trivia, where you had to answer in the form of a question.
Love that.
But I can't remember what something happened on the show where we got super jammed up and we never got to it.
I don't remember either.
Well, let's.
It was a busy Wednesday.
Let's see what you got here, Muse.
All right.
Do you have any for me?
No.
Quick
Google search.
We're running short on time. I am an all-knowing, benevolent monarch here, Muse. No need to test my knowledge.
I'll give you the Disney trivia. That was good.
Paul, what do you think about that?
I like it.
Thank you, Paul.
Paul, if there was ever a time to disagree with him, it was that moment right there, Paul.
Woo! Hey, Muse.
What's up?
What river flows between Nebraska and Iowa?
Yeah, okay, so geography, not a strong suit. We know this.
Right.
Yeah, man, I've got no idea, actually. I don't even have a guess.
Sorry, that's not the answer we were looking for. We were looking for the Missouri River.
Yes.
Hey, Muse.
All right.
What decade saw the first instant replay used in a football game? Muse, the show ends at 6.
I know, but okay. Is that? I'm gonna say the 80s.
It was actually 1963 for the Army-Navy game. How about that? One more, Muse.
All right. Can't get shut out here.
Okay.
Well, I can.
Muse. A statue of what Hans Christian Andersen fairy tale figure sits by the waterside in Copenhagen? You know this.
Are you sure I know that? Hans Christian, what's his face?
Andersen.
Andersen, fairy tale. Peter Pan.
No, I'm sorry. That's not the answer.
Humpty Dumpty.
No, I'm sorry. That's not the answer.
The old one who lived in a shoe.
You better start giving yourself buzzers every time that you miss
so I didn't know if those were right or not.
No, I'm sorry. Not the old woman who lived in a shoe.
Darn it. Jack and the Beanstalk.
No, I'm sorry.
Oh, man.
I would have nailed that one.
Wait, you're looking at the answer.
No, I would have nailed it. It's a Little Mermaid.
Oh, okay.
You didn't know Little Mermaid was a Hans Christian Andersen fairy tale?
I did not, no. This was a Disney movie.
Oddly, the Hans Christian Andersen, it does not have a happy ending. Like the Little Mermaid gets banished into the eternity forever. All that's so like Malcolm Gladwell, Revisionist History, did a podcast on this one time about how Disney flipped the whole thing, and it was like this whole women's right thing was the underlying whatever. But the point is, he was talking about how Disney took Hans Christian Andersen's The Little Mermaid and flipped it into like a happy ending fairy tale when that wasn't the point of the story. He was actually very dark and like sad, kind of not happy ending. It was bad, like grim, no good stuff there.
That's not fun.
No, it's
not. Can't do that for Disney.
Which is why I was like. The podcast was an interesting, like, thought experiment, but it's like, it's a Disney movie, man. Shut up. It's really fun. It's the singing crab.
Really
it's Sebastian.
good.
It's
really
under
good
the
Disney
sea.
movie.
It's, come on.
Oh, it's part of that world. Love it.
It was all about how man had to come rescue women like King Triton and blah, 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 blah. It's like, hey, shut up, man. I'm not trying to sit here and think about this. It's a Disney movie. But I do love Revisionist History. It's a great podcast. It's after further review. By the way, trivia at Pluckers tonight, 7:30 at Bluebonnet, 8 o'clock at Nicholson. Get your team together, go play trivia. We'll wrap up with Auto Locks next.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by the Baton Rouge General Hospital, brgeneral.org, brgeneral.org. Expanding healthcare in the Baton Rouge area, that's the Baton Rouge General Hospital, partnered with the Mayo Clinic Care Network. That gives your physician here in Baton Rouge clinical collaboration with the experts at the Mayo Clinic at no extra cost to you. Learn more at brgeneral.org. You'll see it right there on the main screen. You can click Learn More, and you can learn more there about the Mayo Clinic Care Network. brgeneral.org, brgeneral.org. Of course, emergency care at both Mid-City and Bluebonnet, and the Ascension Neighborhood Hospital. The Regional Burn Center is at the Mid-City location. The Pennington Cancer Center is at the Bluebonnet campus. The Baton Rouge General Express Care locations all over town to help serve you. It's the Baton Rouge General Hospital for all their services and locations and all the info you need. You can learn more at brgeneral.org, brgeneral.org.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Bayou Ford has $15,000 off MSRP on a new 2021 Ford F-150. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty and free delivery. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Kids have staked out their place at Ochsner Medical Complex The Grove, where more than 30 pediatricians and pediatric specialists are all conveniently located under one roof. so you can spend less time driving and more time keeping your kids well. Yes! It's no wonder kids call dibs at the Grove. Ochsner Health Center for Children.
Order curbside pickup online or with Rouse's Market Shopping app and let Rouse's personal shopper shop for you. Curbside pickup is free and you pay the same price for groceries as in-store. Use code SAINTS20 and save $20 on orders of $100 or more. That's curbside convenience. Shopper style.
Oh, yeah! Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
There's nothing better than tailgating, but it can be a lot of work. So why do it yourself when you don't have to? Let Revelry Sports and Entertainment set up your luxury tailgate on campus. Order what you want and just show up to party. Book your tailgate today at revelryteam.com. Revelry Sports, the official tailgate partner of LSU Athletics.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, presented by Plucker's Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the Byrd.
Down the stretch, we come final segment here on a Hump Day edition of AFR, presented by Pluckers. One thing left to do, find out what we're betting on tonight. Time for Otter Locks.
Otter Locks, presented by Lofton Staffing Services. At Lofton, we put people to work. Call us today at 924-0200 or go to lofton.jobs.
So we turn to the one and only, the incomparable and often incomprehensible, the Ott father himself, Jimmy Ott. Otter, how are you?
Doing good. You got your pen?
I am ready to roll.
All right, here we go. All right, first of all, Philadelphia. We're splitting these up, Matt. We're going to do -1.5 and then also the money line. So split them up.
Okay.
So -129. And look, I'm shopping, so I'm probably going to have a little bit better than you. I'm really been doing my homework over here. Some kind of sorority function going on over here at City Slice, and we're just barging right in the middle of it and betting the card. -1.5 plus 133, and then -129.
Okay.
Phillies on the money line and the run line. So split that up. Okay, my man Smoking Token. Our boys at it again. Patrick Corbin making his 29th start this year. Got a chance to lose 20 games. The over-under is 8.5. Wells has been getting hit hard for Baltimore as well. Over 8.5. I found it as much as -105. You might go -110.
Okay.
Yankees. Red Sox suck. Sorry, moved up. All right, Yankees money line, -122, minus the run line, plus 130.
What's the point of playing them both?
Just come on, because I'm trying to. I'm kind of torn between each one.
Okay.
And I usually just play just on the visiting team, just play the -1.5, the run line. But just kind of Phillies, Marlins could have a good pitcher. The Yankees game's always going to seem close. All right, we move on. Cubbies, plus $1.75 against the Mets. They have the better pitcher throwing tonight.
Okay.
Smiley's been on fire as of late. So I like Smiley and that one coming back, plus 75. They've already won the first two. Mets aren't hitting. Peterson has been mediocre. But look at the Mets, 4-5 their last 9 against the Cubs, Miami, Pittsburgh, and Washington. One of the 4 weakest teams in the NL, so they are struggling. Plus 176 there. Here you go, and the Dodgers, they clinched the playoff spot last night. You check out who they're sitting. Confirmed lineup. Already got it. No Mookie Betts, no Trey Turner, no Justin Turner, no Freddie Freeman. So we're going with Arizona plus $1.15.
1 minute remaining.
That's been pretty hot as of late.
Okay.
So there you go. Split the Yankees in Philadelphia, both money line and run line. Over Baltimore, Philadelphia 8.5. Fed plus 176. Arizona plus 115. City Price Pint to Pizza, just outside the North Gates of LSU. Got a full show today.
All right,
I'm going through Rush. I think I'm going through Rush tonight.
And we will have football. It sounds like it. All right, Game Time with Jimmy Ott follows us in Baton Rouge. If you're not in Baton Rouge, online at 1045ESPN.com. Thank you, Otter.
All right, thank you, man.
All right, have a great show. So the Phillies, money line, run line. Yankees, money line, run line. Baltimore and whoever Baltimore's playing, the over, the total 8.5. Cubs on the money line. Diamondbacks on the money line. A lot of picks for the Outer Muse. You learn anything?
Paul Byrd and Roddy Rance are roommates.
I did learn that. Paulie, you learn anything?
They're just coming to the LSU football schedule.
Learn anything, Matt?
Yes, but I'm out of time.
AFR.
Brought to you by South Point Volkswagen. SouthPointVW.com. New and certified pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online at SouthPointVW.com. SouthPointVW.com. LSU will never play a Week 0 game, would have been mine. SouthPointVW.com. You know where to find them. They're Louisiana's largest volume Volkswagen dealer. They're on Airline just north of Highland. So if you're thinking about a new vehicle and you've never thought about Volkswagen, just put them on your list. That's the one thing I would encourage you to do. Just put a Volkswagen on your list. Go look at all the features. Look at the pricing. Look at the gas mileage. Look at the safety features. Go test drive one at South Point Volkswagen. They have inventory. Airline just north of Highland or online at SouthPointVW.com. Go to the website. You can hit the new or pre-owned inventory tab. And one of the really cool things is the vehicles that they have on the lot are the pictures that you're going to see. Not a factory stock photo, but the actual image of the vehicle there at South Point Volkswagen. Online at SouthPointVW.com. South Point Volkswagen, what's your direction?
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Go back to school in style with a new or pre-owned vehicle from Corval Toyota in Opelousas. It's an easy process, and vehicles are getting to our lot weekly. Make the decision now or reserve your new Toyota today. Come on down to Corval Toyota in Opelousas. That's Happy Town, USA.
Light beer shouldn't taste like water. Miller Lite has more taste and only 96 calories. It's Miller time.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital. Auctioner.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of